Look, we're making the new counterculture whether they want it or not. So who's going to run the non-woke answer to Newsarama or the non-autistic IGN?
New co-host that will be taking Richard's spot on the show is Mr. Emily Music. My next co-host, the man who will absolutely make you change. And by making you change, what I mean by that is he is going to help you change from having that story in your head to putting it on paper and putting it into people's hands. And this is the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org.
Alcohol. A good Christian boy.
Number one Iron Age booty daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Royce. Welcome back to A Drink with Crazy. I am buying a goat. I love goat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights. What's going on, everybody?
What up?
What's going on?
Me.
Oh, good Lord. We have a cast of people, a gaggle of people. What word are we using tonight? Don't.
Gaggle's accurate.
Yeah, gaggle. Yeah. Okay.
A bunch of cool and attractive people in Royce.
Yeah.
We have
whatever. We've got people. What's going on? Hey, welcome back to Iron Age Nights, the show where we usually bring you one person a week, but this week we absolutely didn't have a guest scheduled, and then we found out that people had plans because it's a long weekend, and then we're like, you know what? Let's just put out an open invite to everybody that might not have plans on a Friday night, so thank you guys for not having plans, to join us.
Thank you for reminding me that I have no life.
It's
You're welcome.
Dude, you showed up here.
Look, it was
I've
either
been here multiple times.
It was either take this one break tonight or just, continuing firing myself into the sun for all eternity. It was anyone's guess.
Dude, you actually need more of a break than I do. I just can't. I can't with you half the time. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are going to, I don't even know what we're going to talk about. We'll wait till somebody brings up something and all of us decide that we want to talk over each other, and then that will be our first topic for the evening. That's usually how we rock and roll with this. We also have a bunch of people who want to jump on the show as well, and so we'll be rotating guests out as the night go. I can... Here's what I will do, because I know
really
some of
burp into the microphone right now.
in the private chat, I will put the StreamYard link for those, because I know, like, John, you were talking with Nick Phoenix, and I think Hero Darky Dark also wants to get in. So I'll leave that invite there, because we can get two more. Hi, RH Snow. How are you?
Hi, I can hear you now. At first, I was like, no, my Brave browser didn't want me talking to anyone on the internet because it loves me.
Yeah, Brave browser is horrible. I don't use it. Yeah, that's how it goes. But
I love Brave browser. It doesn't always work.
I know. That's why I could not do any of this if I did that anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the chaos. My two fantastic hosts, which one of them is paying attention to other things. I got Daniel P. Riley from whimsyland.org or gzai.com, and also I got Justin Everly Music.
I'm just cleaning a little bit. It's a little.
He does music. And
I'm standing in a pile of cans about shin high, so I was just trying to shuffle around a little.
That's my
What are you, Asmongold?
We're not allowed to show tonight.
Just
I
peanut butter and
just
jelly crusts and
cleaned up
crumpled
all
up
of my beer
newspapers.
cans a few days ago, so I don't have any cans down here.
That dude makes way too much money streaming to have an excuse to
Here's
have
what's so
his
funny,
room look
too.
like that.
He actually doesn't stream on his monetized Twitch channel. He said he made enough money from it and he didn't want to worry about it anymore, so he just stopped streaming us. So he actually costs Twitch like many thousands of dollars per stream to stream on their channel, and then just makes a crap ton of money off of his clips channel.
Oh my
on
Pretty
YouTube.
funny.
Did you guys?
One way
There's
to
a
do it.
rat. There's a rat.
I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but you guys know that video game that's out. That's a little popular power washer simulator.
Oh yeah, dude.
Mhm.
Heck yeah.
Somebody put. My wife is addicted to that game.
It's a good
Somebody put that his room was going to be a DLC content.
That's
game.
pretty good.
It
I
wound
saw
up
that
being
post.
fake. But the Power Washer Simulator verified account retweeted it and said, "We don't think we have the proper equipment to handle this job." Like,
Nice. Nice. No, what there needs to be is an
That's
OxyClean simulator, and you have to wash his
yeah, there
shirt.
you go.
The same shirt that he's been wearing for like a decade. You can tell by that sagging neckline from it.
Dude, it sounds like you just have issues with him.
I've never actually watched his content.
I
Yeah, I'm vaguely aware
I've
of
just
it.
seen like screenshots and clips of him, and I'm like, bro, I know you make money. Why does your room look like that? And why is your
He had
t-shirt like
roaches
that?
crawl on him while he's streaming because his room is that fucking filthy.
I know.
That's like
That's
rock
how you know
and
he's a
roll.
real gamer.
No, it does not.
That's the
I-
That's how you
sign.
know he's
I
a
will
real
say this.
foreigner.
I will
That's
say
how
this.
you know he's real lazy.
I get as much of a kick out of listening to people just lose their shit about him being an absolute filthy degenerate as I do like watching his stuff, because he's aware of it. It's not like he's not aware of it.
Then be grown.
It's just funny to me.
Wash your shirt.
He does not care.
Or even better yet,
Okay.
buy a new shirt.
Okay.
He'd
but
lose
that's,
his
Waste
brand.
money.
that's when you've got so much money you don't care what anybody thinks about you anymore. You're like, literally, if you want to be with me, baby, it's going to be for this. And literally, you get to a point where you just don't even give a dang. I have never been to that place. I'm like, every morning, I better get up, do my hair, because I've got like 35 cents, and maybe some change under a cushion somewhere. I have to at least brush my hair, to make myself feel like, I'm worth something. When you got that much money, you can do what you want. I mean, if some chick doesn't like it, at least he knows to take her off the list. That's probably how he's vetting all of his people right now.
I don't know.
That might be
The rest
giving
of
him
his
too much
house is probably
credit.
perfectly clean.
No, it's
Then,
not.
then it's just one more room at that
It's
point.
not. It's not.
Just one
It's
more
not.
room.
I love how angry you guys are getting.
It's not
It's
even
fun.
anger.
Yeah.
It's bafflement. I can't even. There aren't enough synonyms for just how baffled and confused I am about that man.
It's freaking hilarious. Really quickly, guys, I got a private donation from Devil's Air for $1. Hey, this is Devil's Air here. Thank you for such a great community and finally getting my passion on the page. I can't donate much, but don't worry, you're fine, man. Here is some. We'll talk in Discord once you smoke again outside. Yeah. I usually do I've got to see how Discord will handle the smoking live streams, because that's usually what I do is when I do the all night smoker sessions, because that's how you cook food. I gotta have some people to talk to. He says, but we'll have to wait for that. Hail the Iron Age, hail the chat, and Royce is gay.
Yeah,
All the bases
checks out.
covered. No stone unturned.
No,
It
stone
checks
unturned.
out.
No, it checks out. It's an older code, but it checks out.
Can confirm.
Oh shit! So we also have Indy Andrew from the Rippaverse as well. Here we've got Jake Calta, a man of many names. Can you just pick one, please? Because you've got 17 of them on.
I'll pick the important one right now. The creator of 365 Infantry with 365 Infantry Ride for 2025 over on Kickstarter.
There you go.
That's the big one. I'll let the byline do the rest of the talking.
we have. We've also got Dice Bag. What's going on? They fantastic creators, tabletop
Hey.
RPG creatures. It's good to have you here, dude.
Right.
We also
Creatures
have
spelled like this.
Yeah, creatures
by the
spelled
way.
with a Y because we can't use normal.
It's a
spelling.
portmanteau of crystal creatures. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh,
There
okay.
you
That
go.
actually makes a lot of sense now.
Now it makes sense.
Wow, that actually makes a lot of. I've never had that context before, huh?
I thought I mentioned that the last time I was here, but
Yes,
maybe
Possible, dude.
You did. Royce doesn't pay attention.
Dude, do you have any idea how many beers ago that was?
It was.
How many White Claws, Royce?
not. It was last year, so that must have been a lot of beers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of beers.
He's blaming it on the beer.
That's like a liquor store's worth. You can neither confirm nor deny.
A small liquor store's worth, probably.
Oh, is that all?
A small corner store's worth.
I'm going to tag White Claw's official account right now and be like,
Please, for the
this
love of
man's
God,
money
no.
could be yours.
No.
Get him a sponsorship.
No.
That's what I'm working on.
What irritates me so.
IAK brought to you by White Claw.
No. I don't think they sponsor anybody. Like that would be freaking terrible.
If there's
Okay,
one
and we're
person they sponsor, it should be you.
filling out the roster. We've also got John A. Douglas.
John.
Hey,
Who-
everybody.
for-
The Iron Age. What's going on?
What's
I
going
came here
on?
specifically to annoy Andrew. I'm glad that we're facing each other now so we can flip each other off.
Orcs are lame.
I'm not a fan of what people do with orcs in the modern day, but we'll get into that.
Which is it's hilarious that me and him are on the
I'm
opposite sides
ready.
of the fantasy race.
It's all John's fault.
No, it's not half as hilarious as the fact that you keep calling me an elf lover, and I keep proving to you that I don't even play an elf in D&D. I can't remember the last time I played an elf in something.
That's a weird insult.
Well, the one thing we do agree on, we like Xenoblade. That's our favorite.
Yeah, there you go.
This is correct. We can agree on that. So even if you're wrong about orcs, you're right on one thing.
And the Godzilla movies.
And the Godzilla movies. Okay, so you're right about two things. That makes up for it. It's fine.
It's official. The broken clock has officially been right twice a day.
We can disagree on one thing when we agree on everything else.
Oh, good
This is where the bromance begins.
Mrs. R.H. Snow, how are you doing?
I love you. I'm over here now. I was over there, and now I'm over here. I'm just,
Yeah.
right
Yeah, that's
there. It's like being on Hollywood Squares, but
Oh no.
not quite as drunk, I guess. I don't know. Which is
Right.
if you remember, I
I-
was pretty well.
I wish I had a good Gilbert Gottfried because I love the clips of him on Hollywood Squares.
Oh,
You're
dude.
so-
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
That
Oh
was a good show.
God! I can't believe it.
He was my favorite. He was my favorite only because I knew he was Iago in Aladdin. I was like, I want to watch Iago on Hollywood.
Yeah.
My dad's like, that's not his name. I was like, yes, it is.
Wow.
It is. That is. Oh, we also have. We've got Nick Phoenix and Hero Darky Dark. Gentlemen, what's going
What's
on?
up? Sorry, I came in a little bit late. I had to stop by the liquor store and grab you an extra case of White Claw.
Oh shit! Fuck off!
Got it.
Damn it!
Yes.
He only
this is
likes
my-
5-packs. Just five.
My Dr. Pepper is what I'm drinking.
Gay claw for the gay god.
Oh god!
I mean, we all know Ari Snow is classy as fuck. So.
Oh yeah, no, we all do. We all know this thing.
What you to say? Well, I sit here and sip on my drink in the middle of my bed. It's like, woo!
Here, Darky Dark, I see some awesome some pictures you're putting up from the con, dude, with everybody standing with your
Oh yeah.
what the
cardboard
hell are those
cutouts,
things called? Yeah, the cardboard cutouts, dude. That's
cardboard
freaking
cutouts.
cool, dude. Is that getting
Yeah,
you a
it's
lot of
been
attention
awesome,
at the
but I'm basically like almost dying here. I had to stand for like 9 hours. I had to speak a lot. Mind you, I'm used to only speaking for like 30 minutes a day. I do not speak a lot, so
Oh yeah.
my voice is dying.
Mm-hmm.
Your pictures speak for you. You can say it that way.
Yeah, that not
Thank you.
not in public. That's not how that works.
It works
So-
Welcome to
It's always like,
convention
hi.
life.
Oh,
Hello, police. I'd like to report a creepy person.
yeah, right. Which one?
One sec.
You.
Just
Well,
pick
to be fair, this entire panel, but you know.
Yeah,
I
know.
plead the fifth, but I already drank it.
So I saw a take the other day, and I'm just going to make this one up as I go, because usually people are like, oh, yeah, we're going to have a topic. I don't have a topic.
Was it as bad
However,
as your Full Metal Alchemist take?
My Full Metal Alchemist take was that I liked the show, but there was a plot hole, and apparently it's not a plot hole, but not a single two people or not a two pair of people can explain that plot hole the same way. It's all different, but I missed it, and I'm like, I read all the comments. I was like, okay, I had to, because I thought I missed something, and then I'm reading it. I'm like, oh no, these guys are just headcanoning the shit. It's like they just
the best
everybody headcanoned it, and I was like,
I mean, Royce, don't you understand? You need to have a very high IQ to fully understand Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, dude, it's
Is that a genetic disadvantage? You got to give him a little grace.
Dude, I'm a drunk redneck. Like,
well, to be fair, Royce does like White Claw, so genetic disadvantage.
To grasp
I think you mean
nuance
degenerate.
of Full Metal Alchemist.
That too.
But yeah, that is like my most disliked video ever. It is sitting at like 50-50 right now.
As it ought to be.
Well done.
It is 50-50. The dislikes might
Do
have
not
overtaken.
insult the FMA, Bubba.
I didn't insult it. I
You
said it was a
angered
good
the
show.
weebs.
I did. And
You should be wary. They have the power of both God and anime on their side.
I know. Oh, I'm gonna do another video, and I'm basically gonna tell them all that, like, although some of you had good points, not a single or not a pair of you. I don't know why I keep saying that. Like, but yeah, not a pair
I take
of you
it the
could
Sunday
explain this.
coffee is going to be a riot today.
Yeah,
Well,
everybody
this-
was like, no. Yeah, oh,
That's a
dude.
pair of you.
Royce,
Probably not doing.
Royce,
Sunday
Royce, you
coffee.
know what to do.
What?
You know what to do. Your
What?
response video has to be titled, "My channel is under attack."
Absolutely not. That does not trigger the algorithm.
And you need to have like a thumbnail has like has your face
I
and
would.
mouth open.
I'm probably gonna title it something like "The Truth is Poorly Written in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood." No, because I am. Oh no, it's totally a bait. It's totally a bait thing.
I drank too much White Claw, and that's why I didn't understand Full Metal Alchemist.
5-second video.
Royce, when weebs attack.
Yeah, it doesn't. That won't.
Everyone,
Yeah,
just
that-
when weebs attack, and then show your picture on this, like going like that, and that way
No.
it'll be the best thumbnail ever. You will get everybody on there. All the weebs
Oh, no.
will come and the weebs, and
So
all the
here's
people that attack.
here is what I have found out about using myself in my own thumbnails is unless you are a large channel and
Nobody
you have
wants to
like a
look at
name
you.
behind it, nobody cares.
That's
Nobody gives two craps about your face until you have, and I don't know what the threshold is. I think the threshold is somewhere around like 100,000 subscribers, like legitimately.
wow.
See,
I'll
what you
put it
could
this way. I
do
think-
is on the thumbnail, you could have young Edward when he's losing his arm and leg and Photoshop your face on there.
No.
So
What
The
is
special's
the
probably
one
your
that I-
face too, right?
So to poke fun at like all of the different answers that I got, I'm the thumbnail that I have right now. It says my truth, your truth, the truth, right? Because that's how everybody treated this crap, and the truth is in red and the other two are in white, and then obviously.
So guys, did you know that Royce once did a review of Full Metal Alchemist for IGN? He rated it 7.8 out of 10, not enough White Claw.
I hate all of you so
And
fucking
But he
much.
did give the Acolyte a 9.8.
I remember that. Yeah, it was shocking actually to see.
That
It's
was
in
too much White
solidarity
Claw.
with the gays.
That was
You gonna stand
no,
for
no.
that, Royce?
He was standing in solidarity with his people. That's all it was.
Yep.
He drunk enough White Claw where it was actually entertaining.
oh jeez.
Okay, let me ask this: have any of you actually ever done a review while you were totally pasted?
No.
No.
Get on there and just another thing. I really hate John Wayne.
No,
like,
I
get on
try
John Wayne.
not. I try
That
not
you,
to do
John
that.
Wayne?
He wouldn't talk that slow. He would just talk even more than he already does.
You would just talk louder.
It would be like an 85-minute video
And a
that could have
lot
been
of hands.
summarized in 8.
Yeah, just me just
Royce doing
screaming
his
at the
best
top
Sam
of my lungs.
Kinison impersonation.
Honestly, I would watch the whole thing.
Just an
And it will
hour and a
deep-
half of me forgetting what the fuck I was talking about at
There's
maximum
entertainment.
volume.
Look, let's be real here. People watch weirder shit online, okay?
Yeah, you're not
The
wrong.
first 10 minutes would be
Pretty
about the
fucking
topic,
much.
and then he'd get off on the politics and government, and then we would lose him forever.
Dude,
We'd
I
lose him
almost
for the next
Fall off
60.
into the
I almost did a
stratosphere.
video. I almost did a
Turn
video
the
on My Hero
smoker into the
Academia
next
talking about
bulldozer.
how the government was the worst villain in that show.
Mm.
God.
Isn't the government the worst villain anywhere?
Yeah, but like I figured if I did that, the weebs would get really, they wouldn't understand it because they would be like, no, we all love the government or some shit. I don't know. I basically I just didn't find a concise way to do it.
No, you're not talking about fan service and panty shots. We don't understand what you're saying.
I mean, wasn't it the villain in Code Geass too? Like,
Now, I do not actually understand My Hero Academia because it's supposed to be like some kind of riff off of like Western superheroes, but then like all the heroes in that show are just like they're like government licensed security contractors.
No,
there's like
wasn't
hardly any vigilantes.
Yeah, it wasn't a riff off of. It was the creator of it was heavily, or he's a big fan of Spider-Man. So
he doesn't that sort of fit with Justice League.
I mean, who isn't?
Justice League arc there too.
Oh, where did that come?
I've known people who don't like Spider-Man. Believe it or not, they do exist.
Those people are wrong.
I would agree.
I gotta tell you, I like Spider-Man, but
or the victims of fetal
Spider-Man
alcohol
fans
syndrome.
For decades, it's making me like him less and less.
John, we are no longer friends.
Oh shoot! Is that Treasure Planet right up in here?
Yeah, my wife is making friends with a new mom that has some kids in town, and I guess they go to a bunch of cons. And this was one of the prints from one of the artists that worked on the movie, and they gave it to me. So that's going up on the wall.
That's one of my favorite animated movies ever.
It trades between that and How to Train Your Dragon for me.
Yep.
It's those two.
Wow, we just agreed on something. You're okay. You're smarter than you look. It's fine.
It's a Christmas miracle. It's a Christmas. Everyone buy a lot of tickets.
Andrew
Everyone
became
buy a
gay
lot.
too.
That also, I have a lot of fond memories of that because that's also part of that very rare, tiny moment where there was a bunch of studios making really cool 2D animated sci-fi films. You had Iron Giant, Titan AE, exactly. You had that.
Titan AE was legit.
You had that. You had freaking Atlantis, and then you had.
I saw that, but I don't remember any of it.
Titan AE was really freaking good.
The soundtrack slapped so hard.
It was Don Bluth's last film, and I think it was one of the last things from 20th Century Fox's like main feature, like 2D animated. It was like they did that, Anastasia, and basically fell off the face of the earth afterwards.
But the thing is, like, all of those films were bangers too.
Oh, absolutely!
Like
Don
all of
Bluth
them.
had his like mini renaissance there near at the end. It's fucking terrific.
Fievel, like American.
Oh, Fievel and Fievel Goes West.
I swear to God, I'll go to my grave saying one of the greatest.
He had some
films
incredible
ever made is Secret of
stuff
Nim.
in the
Is
tank
Secret
too.
of
If you
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Who said what? Jake, what were you saying?
Just going off with Don Bluth. I'll go to my grave saying that Secret of Nim is just one of the greatest films ever made. I mean, incredible cast, incredible art. Jerry Goldsmith's score was the thing that made me say, "Fuck it, I need to write music for film."
And
Don Bluth in the
Daniel,
80s
hold on.
ate Disney's lunch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Daniel, what were you saying a second ago? Sorry, people are talking over each other, and it was hard to hear.
No, it's okay. If you follow Don Bluth's account, he had some really cool story concepts in the tank.
Oh yeah, he's been posting production art. It's awesome.
Yeah, and
he actually follows me.
Never made it because they shut down.
Wow.
Oh,
I don't know why he follows me, but he follows me.
Was it one of his movies, The Thief and the Cobbler? That had
No.
really
That was a separate.
Okay.
That was Richard Williams, who was animation director on Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It was like his big passion project that then fell apart.
I know it got pushed out there way too early, and a lot of studio interference fucked it up. But like,
studio interference.
Fans were trying to like finish the actual vision he had for it.
There are a bunch of.
I don't know where that went to.
The other problem is sorry, you go ahead, Aldo.
Yeah, just to answer the question of the recuts, if you look up Thief and the Cobbler recobbled cut, there's someone who's been working on reconstructing the work print based off, using temp music, using original elements in full line. Unrealized animation. There's a lot of pencil tests and stuff like that, and also hearing all the original audio, as intended. Not the later mix where you got, Matthew Broderick and all these other people, which I still can't believe Vincent Price recorded all his dialogue in the 70s, and then it didn't come out till literally after he died in 93.
The problem is the film has been in production.
One
Man's
second.
a legend.
Well, I want to say thank you,
Hell yeah.
Wrangler, for sending in for 20. Thank you so much, Wrangler, for the super chat. I appreciate it.
Okay, I just realized I've been on mute for like the last 20 minutes.
Oh,
I was like, why is he being so quiet? Like, you got to, dude, you got to fight to get any time in on these panel streams. Like, it's just an all-out brawl.
You made the mistake of talking about films I care about. I'm going to be a beast for like the next half hour.
We were just given a gift, and I'm like, yeah, this is absolutely going on the wall. So,
yeah,
that's going to be freaking cool.
But as you were saying, Nick?
But yeah, the thing about Thieves and the Cobbler, that film had been in development since like the 60s. And yes, he did get screwed over, but also he himself was kind of part of the problem because like he kept like restarting production, and
not
whatnot.
Just that, but
like,
I think he was literally animating it single-handedly, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and he was he was a nightmare to work with.
Right, yeah.
Because like you would think after, but the problem is, eventually they would over budget. They had like a Bond company come in, and he wasn't able to finish it in time, so they kind of just did something to do some amount of money. So while it is a tragedy, it is somewhat self-inflicted.
It is a bit, yeah.
You've got to ask the question, though. There's so many people that are in this industry that they really were literally afraid of what could happen to their works, because even then, you had the studios coming in and totally cutting them apart, butchering them. They saw this when you have a kind of passion project, you're not necessarily going to turn it over. And yeah, Bluth was, I've heard it before too, it's a little hard to work with. When his work shines, it shines brighter than almost anybody else's in frame. You cannot find somebody that touches.
Absolutely.
I think the real gift he had was actually in expression. No matter what face he's drawing, you can tell exactly what they're thinking, whether it's a mouse.
His gesture work is some of the greatest. Absolutely. His gesture work is some of the greatest in animation.
Yes, and the others, he is drawing these facial expressions from multiple angles. You could literally have a character not say a word, you would know what they were thinking, even without dialogue with Bluth. And this was the real gift he had, because a lot of animation has lost that ability to translate. We've gotten kind of lazy in our animation. This is nothing against anime. True anime works very hard to make the expressions known, but they also use a shorthand. They use a little spark over your head, or they make a little, just sort of the hair stands up. And so you have it's sort of a shorthand, a stable of expressions that you use that are common. Bluth never took the shortcuts. He always went all the way, the eyes, the eyebrows, everything. It's so clear. And Jacob, I see a lot of this actually in your work too, where I see the expressions on the faces that are visible even without the dialogue. And I think that seeing that from you guys makes me so hopeful, because for a while there I was afraid we were losing it. And everybody just all looked alike. And now
do you know why Don Bluth was so good?
Why?
Obviously he was a talented animator, but he was taught. He actually came up in Disney under the 9 Old Men. Like he was actually taught by someone like the original Disney animators.
If I'm not mistaken, one of his first works was animating on Sleeping Beauty. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was involved in the Dragon, actually, the final climax with the Dragon. If I'm not mistaken, I think.
Because Don Bluth was probably, I think, like the second or third generation of Disney animation.
Who's going?
Okay, so when you're looking at Sleeping Beauty, here's where you can tell that group of animators, and when we talk about facial expression, look at the evil queen. When her face, she doesn't have to say anything, nothing. She's purely driven by the sneer and the look in her eyes, and it is very subtle because if you watch those expressions, take them frame by frame, and it's a masterwork. If Don Bluth actually probably, I think, studied under the animator for her, and each of them had their own specialty, their own thing that they did, and that may have been where he got it, because I never put that together before. But the evil queen the evil fairy in Sleeping Beauty is one of the finest works of just showing feminine disdain in facial expression, and I think and probably that's where he got part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, how often, even to this day, does pop culture rip off like that facial expression for like literally everything?
Yes,
Because it is a perfect sort of contortion. It's a perfect contortion of the face into this sort of total malevolence.
Oh,
And
dude.
it's
Okay, yeah. When you have Hades in Hercules, the animated series, and they did James Wood with his fabulous voice, but that facial expression, look at that. There is an almost frame by frame. That sneer is almost the same one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's funny also that you had mentioned the difference between like the use of limited animation in anime versus the very expressive, fluid style that Bluth had cultivated too. Because technically, the limited style, I've seen it used to great effect. Like one of the shows that I've been going back through per Spencer Rudolph, who's the founder of Go West magazine. He got me back into looking into Johnny Quest, the old Doug Wildey show.
Oh yeah.
And that shows that's a great example of limited animation, because although it sacrifices movement, it doesn't sacrifice graphic detail. And that's one of the reasons why I think so much anime gets away with limited animation, because Japanese animators have such this incredible eye for detail. I love Kenichi Sanada, Riding Bean Gunsmith Cats, some of the most realistic depictions of guns, of automobiles, down to the rivets. It's fantastic.
Well, there's an important distinction here, because Snow is correct in that guys like Don Bluth and a lot of the more old school Western animators during that kind of golden age, if you will, of Western animation, there was that just incredible expressiveness to the faces. However, I wouldn't call what the Japanese do in most anime a lazy thing. I would call it a stylistic choice. Now, maybe they came to that stylistic choice as a cost-cutting measure or a time-saving measure.
Well,
that is possible.
Mind,
However,
it started in manga,
time
though.
management.
A lot of it was started in manga. And
right. Well, they're trying to adapt something that's already there.
Yeah, that's already there. And
absolutely.
And they do a lot of it as a stylistic choice, and they don't do it in every single anime. You'll see, like what Snow was mentioning, they'll sometimes do little things like, there's sparkles in the eyes and things like that. And that's kind of become part and parcel and almost like expected in a lot of animes, depending on what the genre is, depending on what the tone of that franchise and that series is, right? Like there are series where that works and that's deliberate, it's intentional, it's supposed to be funny, it's supposed to be kind of endearing or goofy or whatever. But then you'll have other franchises where they don't do anything like that because they're taking a more serious tone. It's really more of a case-by-case basis. But the golden era of Western animation, the expressiveness in those faces is just unparalleled.
Stylization is kind of taken as a simple thing, but it's really kind of complex when you get to the nitty-gritty and try to do it right.
No, 100%, because everyone kind of develops their own version. Like, I think one of the really cool things, like my two of my favorite all-time animated films are from Martin Rosen. It's his two Richard Adams adaptations, Watership Down and The Plague Dogs. And those aim for a level of realism while also maintaining a wonderful dreamlike atmosphere.
Watership Down is such nightmare fuel.
It is, but you know what? There's a poetry in it. There's a real honest, there's a tremendous lyricism to the whole thing that you just, yes, there's a lot of really heavy stuff in there, but you just flow with it because he pays.
Well, that lyricism caused me not to be able to sleep straight for a week, so thank you.
Skill issue.
I am so glad I didn't catch that movie when I was younger.
Go drink your White Claw, Bryce. Fuck off.
What animation?
What are you yelling at me for?
Will, just like why
you're
you
here.
me for?
You showed up. We have to. It's our job.
I mean, well, fuck yeah.
Well, I will say
Roy just catching strays for no reason.
What was that? What was that, Snow?
Yeah, Watership Down actually is almost Lovecraftian in the way it does it. You have the story that's sweet. It's about bunnies. It's the juxtaposition of the horror next to it that actually makes it work. It's the fact you have this little society of little creatures, and they're so soft and they're so sweet. And then you have the world out there, and the juxtaposition of the two and the animation style marries them so perfectly. That's why it's so horrifying.
100%.
Yeah, and it's when we go to Berserk, and you were talking about the expression. Actually, it's more like Japanese anime style. That is that stylistic choice to make the shorthand is actually a kanji of expressions. It is a short. It's literally a way that you can say, "I am making this expression." Anybody
100%
recognizes it. We have a tendency to conflate everything together and saying, okay, here's animation, here's how it should be. But you have Don Bluth's storytelling epicness of the movies that he's actually creating, as opposed to a weekly, every week get it out, especially with manga, long-running mangas, where you have to have that short expression. You also have other animations that are completely different in style. We have to get away from this idea that all animation has to look alike. We just want it to work. We want it to work 100%. Well. And if
it just has to fit the tone and the story that's being put together.
Absolutely.
And not for nothing, what has been another thing that's been lost from animation in recent years, looking back at some of these older projects, is the ability to tell mature stories in the animation medium without, dumbing it down for the kids and without, delving into topics that are not necessary. You look in the last, 8 to 10 years, the idea of animation that's been put out there that quote unquote deals with adult topics just has them talking about sex and cursing more, and there's no depth to that.
I mean, that's an issue not just in animation. That's all over the industry.
That's just entertainment in general right now.
Video games, movies, television, animation. People are lacking the life experience to be able to properly communicate any sort of a story. Using the I don't know, I guess the lexicon that an adult would have, and be able to communicate that story to adults and children. Again, that's why
hey, the proof of that is just look at Life is Strange. Literally, they have people who power just having empathy. Congratulations.
There's the name I haven't heard in a long time.
The problem with a lot of modern writers is, like you said, they have no life experience. So when they go and write this or that, they just fall upon the tropes. Like, oh, I want to write a story about a golfer. I've never golfed before. Okay, what are the tropes of? I'm gonna read a Wikipedia article and watch a 5-minute YouTube video. I'm an expert on golfing now. I'm gonna write a novel about golfing.
Yeah,
I think you're giving them too much credit. I don't think they make it through the whole 5-minute YouTube video.
I will also say the fundamental thing, specifically with animation, that always frustrates me is that there are people who are able to do those genuine, serious, mature dramas. When I was really studying film, watching 4 movies in a night, going out of my gourd, I was looking to a lot of different. There's a lot of really great animation that came out of France, not just a lot of the really great sci-fi stuff by René Laloux, who did Fantastic Planet, Time Masters with the great Mobius. And one of my favorites, Gandahar from 1988, which was the inspiration for the black androids in my series 365, the tall metal wolves from the very first story.
Why you gotta call them black for?
That's
they look like a bit.
Obsidian Army for a reason.
See, here's the real question: are they good or evil?
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Jesus Christ.
I think
At least you're not calling them furries.
I mean, my question is, do they look like a bitch?
They look like a bitch.
Do they look like a bitch?
Let me ask this, because so many of us have looked at this, and I hear about it over and over again, and actually I took time to watch it. Treasure Planet. Now, if you want to talk about an absolutely beautiful style, it's a stunning work, and it comes out in the same period, where it's that, I believe it's at that apex between going towards a computer and still doing the hand-drawn animations.
Tarzan was first. They actually used the same 3-dimensional background animation, or what? No, it was Treasure Planet, then Tarzan, right?
Tarzan was in the mid-90s.
That's right.
Here's also the thing too. See, that style of CGI, rotoscoping CGI elements, goes right back to Great Mouse Detective. I think Oliver and Company was one of the very first to actually do it. They were doing vehicles that they had mapped out as little vectors, sort of.
I mean, heck, some of the shots in Beating the Beast were CG,
right, the ballroom and everything like that.
I forgot about that. So it was older, but they were really pushing the limits. And I remember watching, especially how Tarzan The way, I mean, they were pushing the absolute limits of
like
that
moving
technology.
like along the tree branches on some
exactly.
of the slides.
And they were like rotoscoping in between the vines and all that stuff. And that, I mean, and they were like, yeah, that was just a technical, not, I mean, it obviously could do it, but it took a lot of time and a lot of money. And Treasure Planet, I cannot remember. Disney did not want that movie to come out. Like Disney did everything that they could possibly do.
Disney's been horrible.
Wouldn't be the first time they did that.
Oh,
Look
God,
at what
no.
they did with John Carter, and that is such an underrated gem.
Yeah,
they completely screwed the pooch on that, and also on TV,
Tron Legacy. Look at Tron Legacy, like that.
Not just Tron Legacy. I am pissed the way they handled Motor City on Disney XD.
Well, but dude, think about. I mean, what about Fern Gully? The only reason Fern Gully got made was because Robin Williams flat out put it in his contract that he was going to. No, I think they screwed the contract from Aladdin, and Robin Williams had him by the balls, and he's like, okay, we can either go to court over this and you guys are going to pay me a lot of money, or you're going to stop what you're doing right now in the name of toy sales, because Robin Williams didn't want his voice and likeness to just be like a for-profit toy sale for kids, because he didn't feel that was morally correct. And so and then Disney went ahead and through some loophole ass thing did toy sales for the genie anyway. And so Robin Williams basically held up the contract and he's like, all right, so we can either go to court over this and I can make a crap ton of money, or what's going to happen is you guys are going to cease and desist on the toy sales because that's in the contract, and you're also going to give me my passion project movie, which was Fern Gully. And they tried everything they could to make that not happen, because part of how they got him to do Aladdin was they were going to let him do it, and then they just kept kicking the can down the road, and then finally Robin Williams got pissed and was like, "Yeah, we're not kicking this can anymore." But
wasn't
again,
Fern Gully a Bluth film?
No, it was over at 20th Century Fox, but it wasn't a Bluth picture. Yeah.
Oh,
but
it used some of the same animators though.
Yeah,
it was from that middle,
like a
and it
Bluth
was
film.
from that middle period after All Dogs Go to Heaven, and before he went to do Anastasia over at kind of that, doing all the weird fairy tale adaptations around that time. Yeah.
Well, and, but again, Disney is just notorious for screwing over anyone and everyone that they can for almost no reason at all either. You know,
it's like what happened recently. A guy got killed. And they're like,
it sucks if you have a food allergy, but you're told the stuff you're being fed is non-allergen.
What?
Thank God I'm not subscribed to Disney Plus.
It's the same thing with Gina Carano. From the top to the bottom, you have to ask a question. Things are done for Disney. Now, when you're doing it for the studio and you go, oh, the best studio, we're putting out something the fans want, we're going to drive this home no matter what. Then you can at least turn over and say, hey, look, we've got a fan base. We want to make them happy. I didn't do your contract because I thought it wasn't what the fans wanted. But that's not the case anymore. We don't have that where they're just they're doing it because they have a product they love or a certain house feel. They're doing it because they are a corporation. They no longer are about the art of animation or the art of storytelling. They're about the art of lining their pockets. You need to get the artist back in the seat.
And it
is was an artist. He was an artist.
Yeah,
he knew, and he didn't need to. He knew what he had. He had a vision. You have people instead who are running businesses, and the only business that they're in is making money. That means that they have nothing to do with the artists themselves, or the actors, or the voice actors, the music. It's no longer about that. It's just about the dollar. And so it shows. Eventually you have where they're just screwing everybody over, and that's going to show up in the art eventually. When you're doing it, it shows.
And I think it's been, and it's not only has it been showing up for a longer time, it's just I think about the stark contrast between, Walt the man and all the innovation he worked towards, a lot of the concepts he was really pushing. Everything from doing animation in the CinemaScope format when it was still very recently developed. Very recently. I think about we think about all the complete lack of charity in the company's conduct in the modern day, and then I think about him lobbying for James Baskett, who had played Uncle Remus in Song of the South, getting an honorary Oscar, literally hammering them over and over and over again. And I'm genuinely pissed that film's memory hold, because whatever you want to say about it in terms of, contemporary whatever, Basket was an incredible talent taken way too soon. He could have been a really wonderful character actor. He had such presence, so much to give.
Walt's biggest problem is he was such a visionary. That was the only thing that he cared about. And he tried to leave the business runnings to other people. And like you say, he like those people stabbed him in the back. I mean, they stabbed him in the back because, and it leads to this whole, the whole conversation. It's like, yeah, you guys, you can have stuff, you can talk about all the wonderful things that artists do and how they work and how whimsical they can be and lyrical and all the fucking fancy fucking wonderful poetry.
Feel like you owe Daniel a nickel for that.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. No, I don't fucking know. He ain't gonna get it. But you can do all of that. But at the end of the day, historically, artists are just not good at selling their stuff to people. And that was the same thing with Walt. Like, he knew what he wanted. But had it not been for the people that screwed him over, sadly, Disney would not. I mean, he almost ran it into the ground back in what, like the 60s or.
Well, no,
50s?
What happened was basically World War II upset the. What happened was World War II upset the apple cart, and it took them a while to come back around because they wound up. Doing propaganda work, doing animated shorts for, all sorts of military operations. And then after the war, slowly they were able to rebuild. But, basically after Jungle Book, it was in the hands of the suits. And you had that sort of malaise era from the early 70s, which still, a lot of people look fondly on many of the films that came out during this time.
It goes even back further than that. What you're leaving out is the unionization and the strike. And after that, and also the other thing is in the mid '50s, they introduced new animation style. Like we went from Pinocchio, like with the multi-plane camera, you saw 101 Dalmatians.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you over Sleeping Beauty, the 101 Dalmatians. That is a huge start drop in quality, and that's what kind of led to the malaise areas. Is they kind of sorry, I took over.
No. I totally go. And you are right there too, because the 60s are kind of the beginning of that period. And then after Jungle Book, it just kind of, you had that slow deterioration. They're pushed more towards the live action side, which to be fair also led to a lot of taking risks and a lot more, gambles. But unfortunately, a lot of those gambles weren't always paying off.
Well, and that's where they've always relied on the theme parks for that to like carry them through.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing is, after Walt died, the thing was like, oh, what would Walt do? And that's what kind of led them through the 70s. Like, I don't think Michael Eisner gets enough credit for saving the company. Because there was corporate raiders going on in the 80s.
For all the man's faults, he really did keep the ship. He kept the ship afloat. He really did.
Yeah.
It's a marriage. You have to have a marriage between business and art in order for it to succeed. Now,
no, 100%.
Art can be wonderful. There's a reason why artists are discovered after they die. It's because somebody else gets it and they go, "Hey, I can sell this," and that's usually how it works.
And it's
the same way. But you have to have that marriage between the two, and we need each other. That's the truth. We need people who are visionaries. Nikki Piccone and Daniel P. Riley. You have a lot of other people out there that are starting to delve into the business side of
just fucking see. Are you already that good?
Roy skipped because he's neither an artist nor a visionary nor an intellectual.
No. Take that back. Actually, because
but none of you guys wanted to do a YouTube channel to promote other people, so I got that. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm not a YouTuber.
I talked to y'all about that, and I said that it's called curation. And actually, curators
absolutely.
That are the reviewers or the people that get. You have your business people out and behind it. So you have Daniel, you have Nikki, you have others, and then you have Royce between the artist and the business people. They're bringing.
That sounds kind of gay.
The viewers. And now, still,
sounds super gay.
It's pretty gay.
I couldn't do this without it. Because I literally have to have somebody talk about me because I can't really sell myself. I have a hard time with that. I really have a tough time.
Same.
They know they work for the inside. We need to see how we sell ourselves.
I think two things. One, in marriage of art and business, absolutely 100%. And that's the reason why one of my greatest inspirations was the late, great Roger Corman. Because for all the, talking about the many crazy B movies the man made, he was also a guerrilla film school for literally some of the greatest filmmakers in the modern day. Yeah. He worked with Francis Ford Coppola. He worked with Martin Scorsese. He worked with Dennis Hopper. He worked with Jack Nicholson.
James Cameron.
Worked with James Cameron in the 80s. He worked with so many talents who are literally at the top of the heap as we speak. And he did it by telling them, you got 15 days for principal photography. You got X amount for post-production. Here's your budget. Here's the script. Go make the fucking movie. Make it by any means necessary. And not just that, but also he had an eye for art. If it wasn't for him, Ingmar fucking Bergman, patron saint of the art house, would not have had Cries and Whispers brought into the U.S. market to the success it did. That one of his most beautifully done films, and it took Roger fucking Corman, Roger, American International Little Shop of Horrors Corman, to bring an Ingmar Bergman picture to the States. That speaks volumes of the man and his ability to wed those two, art and business. And secondly, we're also in this very exciting yet kind of turbulent time where a lot of the old mechanisms of discoverability are kind of falling apart. So you got to have, your touch points of curators. You got to have your touch points of business people can be like, hey, let's strategize, and then here are the people to reach out to get the word out. Because
let's not forget. Let's not forget this either, because everybody's kind of ignoring the creep. I'm not saying everybody's ignoring it, but the creep in quality of AI is starting to get. You imagine in 10 years, somebody says, "I want to take clips of AI and do Lord of the Rings in the style of Ralph Bakshi animation." They might just be damn well be able to do it, right? As a fan product, probably, right? They'll get sued to hell and back if they try to do it without approval. But still, that little bit is coming. I know there's a lot of people that are
it's like the holodeck from Star Trek.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are on the forefront of, trying to be on the top of AI for all of its innovations. And it is amazing to see where it's come in a year's time. I do prefer the human touch, but I got to admit, it's starting to get to a place where the human touch in a lot of industries, especially animation, is worse and worse and shittier. And, if somebody can make something that looks better than the CalArts garbage we're getting, I might just take it.
That's more of a commentary on the quality of the people we have rather than the quality of the AI itself, I think.
Yeah, you need to stop following some people because they are trash.
But you can also look at the same thing happened to us, whether it's in math, science, anything else. When you're talking about people, do they know how to do math in their head, or do they have to always use a calculator? If they have to use a calculator all the time, they've forgotten the art of actually doing numbers in your head. Well, the same thing happens with animation. Why you see that flourishing at the early stages of AI and rotoscoping during Beauty and the Beast and other things is because it was the old school animators still animating at their peak quality, but now they were using AI or using CGI to do it. Now you have a generation of animators that have relied heavily on CGI. They've lost that ability to actually get in and hand draw a frame, and they're relying entirely on the computer. As a result, the quality has dropped because they didn't grow up drawing like that. And I think that we're going to see a certain portion of writing and art happen that way with AI itself, as they talk about it sort of collapses in on itself. It can only draw from what it has.
Fine, let it collapse. More sales.
So here's one of the things. I'll say the quiet part out loud because a lot of people don't seem to want to say this. Not everybody is meant to be an artist or a writer.
That's correct.
It might be your passion in life, but guess what? You might fucking suck at it. And the problem is that, again, same thing, and I've said this about the education system. I've said this about a lot of things. When you make anything for everyone, all of a sudden you see a rapid degrading quality. Now, what is the AI art doing? It is giving the ability to people to everybody can create art. And when creating art is for everyone instead of just the select few who actually have the talent to pull it off, guess what? You're going to see a rapid degrading quality. And the rapid degrading quality is going to come from the fact that you're not really going to see any individual takes anymore. anymore. You're not going to see a stylistic difference. You're not going to see personality enter the equation in
It's
a while.
always
Because,
blank in the style of blank.
yeah, it's blank in the style of blank. But again, it's because you get people that say, well, I really just want to do this. And it's like, that's awesome. You might suck at it and you might have to pick something else to do. I'm sorry, but them's the breaks. But because we're too afraid to tell little Timmy or little Sally that they can't be the thing that they want to be because they just don't possess the talent to do it, what we've done is we've created tools instead to lower the overall human hunger that comes from chasing after something. And that's really what we're seeing. And again, look at the education system. As soon as we made education for everybody, you see a rapid decline in education. As soon as we make movies for everybody, it's the same song and dance. This is what happens every single time.
It becomes
Good quality tools don't replace the fundamentals. That's the crux of everything.
I mean, what is the classic phrase? It is the poor artist that blames their tools.
Yes. And I want you to get a picture of where they're actually taking this. Right now, it's free. Art for everybody. You can do this thing. So you teach a population to forget how to do things themselves, and you allow them to use your tool for free. Then, magically, one day Adobe comes in and says you've got to pay a subscription or something else. They will allow you to lose your ability to think, to pursue.
Well, screw you. I'm not going to pirate that shit.
But here's what's going to happen. But here's what's going to happen, Snow, is for those people who lack the God-given talent and or just the natural drive to pull it off, they're going to try to pursue that stuff, and they're always going to be mediocre because they were never good to begin with.
Well, they're going to go the way of the dodo ultimately, and then all of a sudden the people with actual talent will be able to charge a premium.
So,
because you're going to see a lot less people going, I'm giving you something above and beyond what you're getting from the rest of these people, and I'm doing it myself. And that's what you're going to see. It's the cream always rises to the top.
The cream!
Always rises to the top. Oh, yeah.
I love how half the panel understood the assignment.
I was
and the other half was just looking at us like we were all retarded. It's fine.
I mean, I would, but I can't die right now.
I am.
No, my favorite part of that gag though is the line before it's like, unjustifiably in a position I'd rather not be in.
Rise to the top. Oh yeah.
And dude, I'm old enough.
No one could have put our chroma like him.
I saw that promo.
So much
when
fun.
It ran.
I love
First
him.
time.
Him
I
and Mean
live.
Gene, tag team champions. Yeah.
Jeez.
Absolutely.
Gene was such a good straight guy.
So do you all see a company like Disney leaning into the AI in the near future to just produce tons and tons of stuff before they eventually come back to actual artists? Do you think there's going to be a
Every
period
single
in there
fucking
where
one of them.
Oh yeah.
it's just going to be a block and just
Oh, yeah,
just
no,
going to
those
be
are-
They're going to
yeah,
try
they
it.
failed.
They're run by bean counters. Of
They're
course, they're
already
going to
trying.
go AI.
Yeah, what do we say?
Trying.
Dude, the second that they can replace everybody to make their bottom line
right.
better, like I mean, yeah, every single one of them.
If
already
you think for a second that they care about the art right now, I offer you Exhibit A, The Acolyte.
But that's what I'm saying. It might get worse.
They already don't care about the art form, guys.
Yeah.
Like, they really don't.
That the
Hell,
millennial
yeah.
company does
Well,
not
Christ's
care
sakes,
about the
it's-
common
it's-
interests.
Well, Christ's
Hell,
sakes,
they
if
don't
I'm
even
not-
care about the fucking theme parks, man. They're breaking down constantly.
yeah,
Do they not
yeah.
have the money to hire fucking engineers and mechanics to fix these goddamn rides that have been around since the fucking 70s?
Oh yeah, right. There was that video
All the
of
new
the
engineers
Pirates
use
of the Caribbean breaking
ChatGPT
down.
to
Yeah.
pass. So
All right, before
plumber.
it gets
Chaos
too much
reigns.
further. Hey, Jake from 365 Infantry, you got to go, man. I know you got a shill or two before you bail out.
Oh, good.
Is that-
Oh goodness.
Is that well? You said Godspeed. I'm assuming that meant
No,
that you were
that's-
leaving.
no,
He was
that's
referring to me.
Oh, I don't know. Okay,
He's referring to
I
me.
don't know.
Now you get to be really excited because you get to get rid of me, Royce.
I don't know.
Once
No, I
again,
just know
Royce
he
did
was
not
gonna
pay
leave. I
attention.
don't know. I figured I was like, oh, he wants to go. He said he was
Look,
busy. Maybe we shouldn't hold him. Maybe we shouldn't.
I'm
dive-
long past the position where I thought you could read.
I
All right.
just-
Yes, and NDA
The
has.
fact
We're
that you
lucky
were
he's
ever
figured
there to
out how to
begin
run
with
the
shows a
stream
lack of your
properly.
intelligence.
That may be true. Okay, I only play an intellectual on TV. I can fake it till I make it. I probably never will. It's fine.
Oh,
Well,
fuck.
judging by the haircut, you certainly know what you're doing.
Jesus.
That's probably the only thing that I know what I'm doing with. That's fine.
I ragged on him enough for his haircut the last time he was here.
He really did. It was funny though.
Andrew,
I was here for it.
One question: what time is it?
No.
What time is it?
What time is it?
Oh no! Oh no!
Is this a trick question?
You know the answer to this.
Oh heck, I should know this. I think.
I. Okay.
I mean, I know what time it is.
There's silence on the podcast. This is very boring, John. What the fuck are you getting at?
Give it to us. Give it to us.
I want to say it, but I don't want to ruin the joke.
Give it to us.
Go ahead, Nick. You do it.
It's morphin' time.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was.
Can we ban him?
Now I'm
Not
leaving.
what it was. Not what it was.
And so ends the reign
always
of
Morphin.
the Orc Lord.
It's always morphin' time.
Oh
No, it's always Morbin time, actually.
Oh, screw you, Andrew. Screw you.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, Andrew. I had to ask. Why do you hate fun? You always
Why do I-
NDA and everything.
What do I? It's called, I don't know, read the book.
Oh.
I don't know.
Hey,
I mean, you can
wow.
always buy
Can't believe
my
you
book.
assume I have money in this economy.
Or assume you could read.
Skill issue.
My voice.
I will say this, dude. If you keep this up, man, you're probably going to have a lot of money very soon. I am.
Oh, my God.
You've given that book a lot of praise.
I am not fucking
a lot
kidding
of
you.
praise.
This book is.
It's pretty good.
I have an extra cover of it. I actually it's my wife's cover. But if you didn't get this, I can send it to you, Andrew.
Well, you know the whole "what's mine is yours" thing.
I do, no, that's fucking communism.
Our book.
Thank you. I'm about to
In
say.
Soviet Russia.
So yeah, no, that's no.
A drink with comedy.
No, that
There you
is
go.
dude. Again, it's a fucking great book. It's fucking awesome.
So
I should also-
Royce drinks vodka flavored White Claw.
Oh god, that's terrible. that is.
My liver
I am
is
going to have to bow out here. I do appreciate you having me on, Royce.
Of course, dude.
Andrew,
always-
nice to actually meet
Thanks
you.
for coming
I love giving you shit, but you're one of my favorite people to be around. You and your wife are incredible. Daniel, keep being awesome. Keep kicking ass with Jizadai. Everybody else on the panel. I know we have a lot of creators here. Independent comics are booming. Keep at it because y'all are important. Like seriously, y'all are important.
Won't stop.
Nice
So-
to finally
Yeah.
meet you, Andrew. Nice to finally meet you.
Y'all as well.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
serious. I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's butt here. Like keep at it because this is our time.
Yeah.
So
This is-
I
I have
appreciate
no
all of you.
other option.
Hey, and you know what? Sometimes desperation breeds greatness.
That
So-
sounds gay. That sounds gay.
It's
I've said gayer things.
That is it is
Okay,
that's
that's
pretty bad.
sometimes
I've said-
desperation.
Chat,
That's
that's
just
being a
pushing
winner
deeper.
gay.
Sometimes desperation is involved in back alley things with drugs too, but we won't get into
Hey.
that. That's
Hey,
also
man.
Hey,
gay.
yo.
You know,
what?
whatever
Gay.
gets the job done and pays
Super
the
gay.
bills, right?
Spoken like a true OnlyFans girl.
You don't know. All right, everybody. People in the chat, thank you so much for supporting Royce's channel, even though he's a horrible YouTuber. But he is a great guy, so thank you for showing him pity. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. That look,
Hey, dude,
Caro-
at least I know
Caro
why you
couldn't
do your
be
hair
here.
now. You got to get it ready for the fans.
you know. Caro couldn't be here, so I had to give you a little extra shit on her behalf. So I
At
appreciate
least he
you
doesn't
all.
wear a wig.
I will. Everybody, keep being great. Keep being awesome. Have a lovely rest of the stream. And I'll see you on X, unless you're from Brazil. Bye.
Cheers, Andrew.
Yeah, there's that whole thing. That's
This
fucking
stream
wild.
suddenly just got a lot less gay.
lot less gay.
Wow.
Like at least 10% less gay.
I didn't think he was going to call you horrible.
Conservatively 5.
Oh fuck. Oh man. Yeah. So yeah, the Brazil thing was okay. So. What I was going to start us off with, really glad that didn't fucking happen because we had a great conversation there. But I saw Razor Fist as one of his hot takes, and I kind of agree with him, but I also don't care. When he was like, whenever they brought in the Green Ranger / White Ranger to Power Rangers, the S at the end of Power Rangers ceased to be a thing, and it was all just about like, Tommy Oliver. And I was like, and I sat there and I thought about it for a second. And I was like, He's 1,000% right, and I don't give a shit because legitimately that was the only character I cared about.
So as a resident Power Rangers fan here, I fucking hate Tommy as a character. He was fine as the Green Ranger, fine in Dino Charge, but as the White Ranger and the Red Rangers, he was so fucking milquetoast. They basically took everything interesting out about him. JDF is not a leading man. He's fine in a support role. Like, I think if he's acting as like a mentor or the Green Ranger, he's fine. But as like a leader, he sucks.
No, I totally disagree with you.
I
absolutely. And I think an entire generation of kids disagrees with you too, because we had like 3 different iterations with him, and then to save the franchise, they brought him back. Like, you don't. If you suck as a leading man, you don't get that. I'm sorry.
I mean, the franchise was.
The fans are always right.
If you're talking about Dino Thunder, the franchise was in a fine state when they brought him back. If anything, they brought back Austin St. John to save it in Zeo.
That was they did. That was a great comeback too. God, I used to have the Gold Ranger like saber staff, whatever the fuck thing that was called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They shafted my boy Billy.
I've got a White Ranger helmet. I've got a White Ranger helmet sitting over here.
I'm a Blue Ranger guy. I'm Blue Ranger all the way.
I will say this: my second favorite Ranger of all time, next to JDF, because he's my favorite. But I'm sorry, Johnny Young Bosch.
Oh God, yes,
Johnny Young Bosch, dude, he was fucking fantastic. And my favorite episode with him was when they brought him back to be like the mentor character again to the guy who passed his powers on to in space.
With a chance.
Yeah,
that's a great episode.
Exactly. And he does the morph, and they're like, "Dude, you shouldn't do that. That could kill you." And he's like, "Doing it anyway." And I was like, "This is probably my favorite."
Yeah. Royce, there's a 2-parter you need to see in Operation Overdrive. There's a crossover called Once a Ranger. They bring back Adam as the Black Ranger, as the leader of the team of Retro Rangers.
Yeah, I know. I watched Operation Overdrive.
I'll be honest.
You're one of the 5 people who did. So,
admittedly, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that.
I both love and am mildly depressed by the fact that my introduction to Power Rangers was a fucking Jack's Pacific plug and play video game.
What?
During SPD.
Hold on.
I'm not kidding you.
Here's what's so bad though too is that SPD is actually, I would say SPD is definitely top 10, possibly top 5 when it comes.
Really?
I wouldn't know about top 5, but definitely top 10. For me, Time Force is top of the heap for me. Time Force is the best season. That is the best season.
No, dude, fuck off. No, Lost Galaxy is way better.
You just like it because the guy ripped his shirt off. That's why you like it.
No.
I really, to be honest though, I would love to sit down and try and watch just to see what the original Super Sentai. Like, I want to find a release of the original Sentai.
Zeo Ranger, which is like basically Mighty Morphin Season 1. Has been released on DVD. I think they've also released Die Ranger and Kaku Ranger.
Okay.
All right, so I got to take.
Sorry, I'm that guy.
I've got to take on this. I'm going to give it to you. As you guys know, that I'm older than dirt. I'm 61. I was a teacher. In school, but yes, I was a teacher in school.
Hey, AC.
What up? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
And the stream just got gay again. It just
got at least 15% more gay.
Yep.
Yeah.
5% more. 5% more than caffeinated.
So I was a teacher, and I'm a teaching school, and my daughter's actually in that age group as well. So she's in it. All of a sudden, my kids are kicking the crud out of each other. I mean, just wailing away. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm teaching pre-kindergarten. I'm like, what's going on? So I sit down to watch this thing. Let me tell you why kids loved it so much. First of all, it was one of the first times that we had real live action just beating the crud out of something. Before it was everybody.
Killer martial arts. The stunts on that show are fucking rad. I love the fights.
Literally, it was the fight scene. It was completely fight scene driven, but it was also about a great overwhelming evil. Now, it sort of steps in the role that the Justice League, the original Justice League back from the 1960s, filmed. Yeah. So it actually comes in that slot because I watched that as a kid. So then we have this, I'm coming through, and then we're seeing like 1968, 1969. And then you have this sort of a gap there where everything becomes a little bit more about, hey, let's do a story about bears in rock bands. For some reason, everybody was on a freak rock band.
Josie and the Pussycats and fucking.
It was the
Yup.
Archies.
Yeah.
Everything was about being in a
Yup.
rock. Suddenly there really
Oh
was-
God, I remember seeing that shit on Boomerang and reruns.
Dude, it was,
Oh,
it
those
was so
are mine
crazy
about
because
Boomerang.
I found it boring because I'd grown up on stuff like Johnny Quest and other things.
Yep.
And it wasn't that they were terrible shows. There's a certain nostalgia to them, but the conflict is very, I don't know how to say it, diminished. It's not. It's against, hey, let's have a race, and there's not speed racer kind of racing. This was another great one that nobody's mentioned tonight. But we had this sort of a diminishing of conflict. It was all going to be done on sports or something else. It was taken away. Power Rangers brings back this absolute slamming action, karate and pushing and shoving and beating on each other and just chopping things to bits, and then a cool stoppy robot with it. There was nothing to top it at the time. And so you have this thing continue. But what makes JDA such a great, what makes JDA such a great leader, when we look at them, why they love the leaders so much, why kids would pick each A Rangers, because it reflected them. It reflected who they wanted to be, what they wanted to be like. And they would watch this. And I love the fact that the actors in the Power Rangers wanted to be what they were showing kids. They wanted to try to keep that culture alive when they were off the set. And I think that is what made those leaders. You see that authenticity in them. They understood what a huge deal it was. And for most of them, they took it very seriously. And I really appreciated that as an adult, coming in and watching that and saying, okay, this actually, there was something very wholesome about it. Even though they were beating the crud out of each other, and I had to keep stopping breaking up fights because they just wanted to kick each other in the head because they were playing Power Rangers. But there was something about good versus evil that really resonated with that group of kids. And it still does today. You guys learned so much from Power Rangers about personal dynamics and face loss. All of that comes from those shows that you watch. And we mustn't never underestimate what it means to a kid or to another person when they read your work. You never know what it's going to do to affect them.
As somebody who was a kid who remembers, when Tommy was there, that he had the character that when he showed up on screen, you were like, okay, it's going to be okay. Because a lot of times, like, the Rangers were kind of getting the crap kicked out of them because the level of monsters were stepping up. And they actually even made a point of that in the show.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on, him to come in. At least there was a smaller plot point. But when Tommy showed up on screen, you knew everything was going to be okay. He was like, okay, cool, we're fine. Like, it's fine. Like, there. And it was a big thing. Like, wow, they actually have to learn how to deal without him there.
That is something that I really do like. I really like shows that do have that kind of a hero where, even if it looks like, we're coming in on a cliffhanger and it looks like shit's about to get bad, everything will work out in the end.
The big damn hero moment.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I was talking. The thing is, I was talking about this on my main podcast, Quality Candor. Specifically the third iteration of Doctor Who with Jon Pertwee. He made it very clear that his characterization was this man of action who, whenever he was on screen, he would basically be a complete, steadfast, upright, get in, get out, save the day by any means necessary kind of character. When he was on screen, kids knew, all right, nothing's going to stop this guy. He's going to get through this in the end. And I love watching throughout all the serials, even the more mature adult kind of stuff they were doing, like in his very first season, like with Inferno, which is some of the best science fiction put to television. You still got that sense that no matter how crazy, how desperate the situation is getting, it's like, you got this, man. You got this. And you're rooting for him every step of the way. I love that energy. And the thing also is, the funny thing about Johnny Quest is that it's actually a bit of an outlier in that Hanna-Barbera thing, because Doug Wildey demanded such a level of quality from his scripts. And you have this really aspirational setup with the Quest team. Where you have great male role models like Race Bannon, like Dr. Quest, and you have this really great rapport between Haji and Johnny. And you have this very supportive setup. And also, you have probably some of the best storylines, I think, of the era for those kinds of cartoons. I agree.
I agree.
Shadow of the Condor a tremendous half-hour episode.
Really?
The best half hours I've seen.
Really quickly, got another super chat, guys. Hold on just a second. XP Comics sent in $5. He says, well, on the Power Rangers topic, I highly recommend the anime Go Loser Ranger. It's dubbed on Hulu/Disney, and it's like The Boys with Power Rangers. That's
interesting. Go Loser Ranger?
Interesting.
Go
Loser
I mean,
Ranger.
if you really want a good parody, go onto YouTube and search Mighty Motion Emo Rangers.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
want a parody? Actually, Mighty Motion Emo Rangers is freaking amazing.
I have never heard of this.
The original Super Sentai is way better than Power Rangers.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard, but I've also heard that it is not in American. And so
no, it's not.
It's subtitled. It's subtitled.
That is
it's
that
also
is, there are so many
quick,
great
stupid
tokus
anecdote.
Dubs are gay. Dubs are gay.
The term.
Dubs are gay.
This is
Real
true.
men use subs.
Daniel,
the term
what's up?
Super Sentai is technically just the word super group. Sentai
Yeah.
literally just means group.
Well, Sentai is actually more. I think it's Sentai is closer to Squadron, because that's why whenever you see the Sentai
Squadron, group,
English,
division, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anybody here play God Hand for PS2?
Hey, what's going on, Wrangler?
Capcom
Hey.
made an underground sleeper hit.
No.
Oh man, they had a
I
parody.
played it a long time ago. Yeah.
Dude, it's got some incredible commercials in the game itself, and it deserves to be on like modern streaming or whatever. But they did a parody of the Power Rangers in it, but they were called the Mad Midget 5. Yeah, it's
That's how you do it.
Better than it sounds. It's so over the top, Japanese, and just goofy.
Do you guys know how to play Power Rangers in D&D? Everybody plays as an artificer, I think, is the play. And
I
then
think
you
they
just-
have a Power Rangers RPG.
Yeah, I think they do. Actually, they
Yeah.
do. I watched it for a while. They actually got the actors who play Bulk and Skull on it.
Hyperforce.
Yeah, Hyperforce, dude. It was a blast. They got they did get Jason David Frank to come in and play the role of Lord Draken, which was that. If you guys don't know what that role is from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comics series, that is a what like that. We only ever saw like a teaser clip of him. It was to promote the comics.
Oh, that teaser clip is so good.
Dude, and I was like, wait, are they going to do this in a show? And that is the biggest missed opportunity that they never did, because if they would have done the Lord Draken like movie, like a trilogy movie to just, they still could have done it PG, but but man, but obviously they can't now. JDF is no longer with us.
If I may, I recommend the fan film series Power Rangers Unworthy. It kind of does like a multiverse kind of like Power Rangers story, which is actually pretty good.
Interesting.
I remember when it first came out, I tried to watch it and I was like, this just looks like a corny live action version of Voltron. I didn't care for it until the Green Ranger showed up, and I thought the Green Ranger was cool as all, and then
exactly.
Then he became the White Ranger, and it just kind of lost the charm for me.
Like
Are
I
they
said,
making the series? Like, are there new episodes coming out and comics?
we don't talk about it. We don't stop. Stop.
So yes, but also no.
Don't do it.
The games are good. There was
Stop.
a good beat 'em up a few
Yes.
years ago.
Oh, there's a new one coming out that looks fucking awesome.
Yeah. No, it was such a. It's again, like I said, it was because it was the 20th. It's the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers airing like yesterday or the day before.
No, 31st.
Only 20? Yeah, it's got to be more than that.
Oh, is it
It's
the
the
31st?
Yeah,
You're old, Royce. You're old, Royce.
Well, so here's the thing: is I was actually too young for the whole Green Ranger arc. I didn't see any of that until it was on reruns because I wasn't even 2 years old yet when it released.
I think it was 95 when it came out. 94, 95?
No, it was 93. Yeah. It was 93 when it came out.
Was it really?
It was 93.
Yeah, I was the prime age. I was 5 years old. I was like the prime age for that stuff.
Literally, watching it in fifth grade and having to not tell my friends I was watching it because we were getting too old.
Yeah, dude, it was
like,
but,
wake up watching it in secret.
I was
like,
in my
"Hey,
late
talk to somebody."
teens, so I was probably just a slightly past the target audience.
You're too busy filling up tits to watch Power Rangers.
But it was interesting. And then what happened after the Power Rangers craze, like almost right after, is all of a sudden the world saw something else that was Japanese. No. Like at this point in time, it was like right after everybody was kind of like growing out of Power Rangers, at least my friend group, it was all about Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah, dude.
Then
Yep.
Pokemon showed up.
Yep.
So,
Dude,
and-
my greatest regret is not getting like really into it. Like I caught episodes of it on like Nicktoons growing up. I never like got into it. And then I started learning more about Akira Toriyama after the news broke of his passing. And I'm like, what a fucking legend. This dude is a role model for anyone making anything at this stage.
Just
100%.
period.
He's done a
Seeing,
ton.
seeing Goku turn Super Saiyan live basically was like that's like better than Breaking Bad and like The Walking Dead.
No, dude, that-
I love those. I love those
Yeah.
memes. I love
Like,
those memes
what?
where it's like
Super
they have
Saiyan,
everyone stop what they're doing and watch Goku go Super Saiyan. I love those memes.
Yeah.
He's back from the dead for the third time.
I also love that he embodies in almost the purest distillation the Japanese ethic of throwing literally everything into the fucking blender and just hitting puree.
Yeah.
Like the stuff we love about, like Shinichiro Watanabe, the stuff that I love about, although Kenichi Sonata is a little more focused in his whole, hey, I basically love 70s car movies, so I'm going to do that, but with anime and manga. No, Toriyama's everything goes in the fucking back. I love
Guys,
that.
I got a joke for you. I got a Dragon Ball joke for you guys. Want to hear it?
Okay.
All right, lay it on
How
us.
many Saiyans does it take to change a light bulb?
Oh, I can tell you that. It takes one, but it's going to take them 5 episodes to do it.
Yeah.
No. The punchline. I don't know, but it takes 3 episodes and Krillin dies in the end.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well,
the Frieza
how many
fight
kids with
in the
ADHD does
original
it take to change a
was
light bulb?
25 episodes.
Yeah, dude, and it was awesome.
It was, and
Every
all of us
second.
were just like, this is great. And growing up, you get older people are like, yeah, they talked for 3 episodes. And I was like, I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, no.
Oh my
No,
God.
yeah,
I didn't care. I didn't care.
Bastards.
There's a lot of things like that from your youth that you go back and rewatch, and your memory of it is just the cool shit. Like the movie Top Gun, it's not a good movie. I don't care what anybody says. My memory, it's a sappy love story. It's Twilight guys. It's not very good.
I'm going to need a new fucking
It's okay to be
co-host on
wrong,
Fridays.
Justin. I still take your money.
Yeah,
in my memory, it was nothing but jets fighting the entire movie with Kenny Loggins blaring in the background, and that's
What's wrong with that?
It's not. It's like 7 minutes of the movie's that. The rest of it's just a love story and guys playing volleyball and shooting guns and stuff.
Why do you hate?
Whenever I play
Dragon Ball's the same way.
a video game, I throw on Kenny Loggins in the background.
The movie's mostly a romance.
I did
but
not,
we're
dude. If I'd
making.
known you were that uncultured, I never would have had you over to the barbecue.
Who let this idiot on stream?
I'm
Who let
not
this moron
wrong,
on stream?
but in my memory,
You're entirely wrong.
It's the movie's like 5 minutes of jets fighting, and Dragon Ball had that same effect where that other stuff doesn't matter as much because the cool parts are so damn cool. It just offsets anything that's drags it down.
And here's the
How
thing,
are you?
You're getting inside Toriyama's head because remember, Toriyama isn't watching this as a child; he's writing it as an adult, and he's also writing the Journey to the West. He's writing that story with the Monkey General, and so he has an entire.
Oh, Dragon Ball is a ripoff of Black Wufu-Kan?
No,
Dude,
no.
It's a ripoff of Journey to the West, and
That's
it's
right,
poorly executed at that.
West. It is Journey
It
to the
wasn't
West.
supposed to be a direct copy.
No, it's not supposed to be a direct copy.
It was. He literally wrote it as a parody. Like that was
I
part
know.
of what he did.
He named his characters after food. It wasn't meant to be taken too seriously.
That's what I'm saying. It's not. But the thing is that it doesn't have to be serious. He's still working through this, and as he goes through it, you have all of these adult conversations that show up. Even if it's the kids talking, they're talking, and he's seeing it from the viewpoint of the adult writing the story. And so as you watch as Goku changes throughout the years, and he grows, and he becomes this character, it's so incredible to watch it from start to finish. And the last frames that we have of Toriyama's own work, where he's talking to Vegeta, I think is that who he's talking to? Dang it, I forgot. He's talking to one of the other dudes, and they're talking about their sons, and the kids are playing together, and they're talking about the times that they spent.
I remember the
We
panel
watched-
you're talking
Beautiful.
about.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just an incredible piece of work. I loved it so much because I felt like I got a chance to go on this journey with Toriyama through his start to his finish, and to see him grow as an artist, to see him grow as an author, but also to see the character come to life And yes, with all the parody, with everything else in it, it's still just an incredible body of work because he loved his characters and he loved the story.
And it's so interesting too, is like, because that's the whole reason a lot of people did the whole Superman versus Goku thing, is because you don't even get characters like that once in a generation. It is once in several generations that you get characters that will stand above all of the I would argue, I don't think that we have seen a character from any property, whether Western or non-Western, since Goku that could stand up there. There will be one, and then we will say, oh, it's like Superman and Goku and this next character, right?
Yeah,
like some people are trying to say it's All Might. It's not. It's not.
Well, that just speaks to a larger problem in media, where we keep mining the old shit. Like the newest stuff in our pop culture is from the 90s. Like stuff like Spawn or some of the stuff that came up in the 90s. We have very few things that kind of came up that have really hit pop culture, and I think it's really hurt us as a society.
And I think the biggest thing too is that there is nowhere left in terms of tech to innovate, as far as art forms go. Like until we unlock the secrets of the fourth dimension, there's nowhere left to go on a technical level. So I think the biggest thing right now is looking for people who are producing something that is authentic, something that is sincere.
Space is the final frontier.
Yep.
That too, yeah.
We keep going back to the same styles too, and in reality, you have to draw as you draw. The reason Jack Kirby was such a big phenomenon is because he had a very distinctive style, which most of the time worked great. Sometimes the reason Frazetta is so revered is because unique style that is you. As soon as you see a Frazetta, you know exactly what it is. You know exactly who did it. Yeah. He influences generations of artists. We need to become the artists that we're supposed to be. We do the style that we're supposed to do. If we don't become as big as the guarantee is not success and money and everything else. It is the hope that our style will outlive us, that we will influence in some way. Only by us all deciding, you know what, we're going to be our own selves as artists, will we get those creators
100%.
out there.
Yeah, 100%. And that's
wouldn't it be cool to see an art style mix of Jack Kirby and Geiger, just to see what that would look like?
Yes,
that is absolutely
more dots.
I want somebody to master the Gendy Tartakovsky style. The closest I've seen is Animated Moon is the closest I've seen, I think.
I am so blessed to have gotten a chance and to be, still in touch and potentially working with Andrew as an animator, because I love his style, I love his work ethic, and I love what he was able to do. I'm not joking when I say that one little head turn frame from while Haven speaks, the little test animation we did, that one head turn frame of Lita, seeing her eyes in red for the first time, and just nails the expression perfectly. I love what he did with that particular character, and I'm really stoked to get back to work with him, shall we say? Anyway,
the problem with a lot of animators who try to ape Gendy's style is they do it too clean. There's a certain roughness to his animation, and every time they do it, like the stuff with Zack Snyder, he's trying to do a Gendy stuff, but it's too fucking clean.
Yep. Gendy has almost he doesn't quite go full Powerpuff Girls, but he kind of has that looseness about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Really quickly, guys, I got a super chat from Maji Chan for $10. Thank you so much. He said, I had to recently go back. I had to recently go back and watch a ton of Power Rangers for research. Reese, which is, made me, so I could capture the character's fight style. That show was so much cooler as a child. I would argue that the original Mighty Morphin does not stand in. I don't even know if it would stand in one of my top 10s. Maybe I'd have to go through and watch all of them and rank them.
Don't tell the Mighty Morphin stands that. They're going to be very bad.
That show, however, as bad as the costumes were, as corny as the 90s puns made me cringe. Oh, yeah, that's anything from the 90s. And the bad acting. I wish we had more stories that taught kids the life lessons that showed up in that show. No, and no, absolutely. And I think that's why, like my kids, I still sit down and watch Power Rangers with my kids to this day, and they still love it, and they think it's awesome, right? Like, so when my kids can sit down and watch Power Rangers with me and go, Dad, this show's really cool, and then I take them and we watch the Spider-Man No Way Home, or the one with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and they got the 3 Spider-Man together, and my kids have never talked about it again. I'm just like, okay, they did something right. So
absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and it's just one of those things.
Did anybody mention the Power Rangers news scandal? Did anybody mention it?
What, news scandal?
Yeah, there's a news scandal. I don't know. It was like the one show. It was like the one show my mom wouldn't let me watch as a kid because she saw something on the news about some kid who threw a big rock on his little sister or something.
Oh, there was all sorts of stuff.
Same. My mom would not let me watch Power Rangers. When Dragon Ball Z came out, I didn't tell her I was watching it.
That's fine. Yeah, that was fine. Yeah, it's like Asian. You don't know anything about it.
You probably weren't going to be able to go Super Saiyan, but you could kick somebody in the head.
Oh, it's a cartoon. It doesn't matter. Like Bugs Bunny bashes people with frying pans.
Oh my gosh, Bugs Bunny.
I was gonna say, yeah, the violence that was played up for humor when
I grew up with Tom and Jerry shorts. That kind of says it.
I was just gonna say,
Leghorn, yeah.
Dude, you and your buddies ever do the rake thing just to see if it worked?
It does.
Oh god,
it absolutely does. And here's
it's
the thing:
terrifying that
we went into it
hurts
with
like a mofo.
It still hurts.
Yep.
Oh, we think you guys were smart to put a forearm up. We just went for it.
No.
Have you guys ever slipped on a banana peel?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever tried to slip on a banana peel?
Yeah.
No.
Does that work?
I didn't have to try. I just do that on ice in the winter.
Yeah.
I tried it at like 12 years old. My back is still hurting.
Yeah.
No, none
You're
of
on the right surface, like asphalt won't work. But yeah, it gets pretty slick under there, man. Banana
I have tried it as a kid just to see if that really does anything, and it wouldn't work. I'm like, yeah. And then one day there was one that I didn't see, and it worked.
Yeah.
Like all good gags should when you least expect it.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
No, and I like that is one thing that it's really and I was disappointed in it for a while. I think that's honestly why I've gotten so into anime lately, is because a lot of the stuff that we're talking about, it still exists. It's just not in the West right now, and it's what I'm seeing, and it is actually Hiro Darky Dark's book that made me realize it is like Toriyama, and like the creator of Astro Boy and
Osamu Tezuka.
Yeah, thank you. And the creator of like My Hero Academia and so many others, a lot of those guys were inspired by the West, and they took that inspiration from the West, kept the spirit of what we were doing back then, turned it into manga and anime. And now you have generations of kids growing up on that and going, I want to write stories like that. And it's passing it back. And
I mean, Miyazaki was definitely inspired by Disney.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
And
now
also-
we're learning from Miyazaki because he's so
also
good.
one of and the big reason why I love Shinichiro Watanabe and Kenichi Sonata so much is because they are so shameless about their Western influences. You look at Cowboy Bebop, you cannot not see the complete Western overtones and a lot of
Gonna
a
have
lot
to
of
give
the
that
stuff.
one a second chance. I tried Cowboy Bebop and I was just like,
there's
I was bored by it too.
Have you guys ever watched Ninja Scroll?
Yeah, I saw that when I was way too young to see it, dude. We just saw a cartoon at Blockbuster and we're like, what's this? Let's try it out. And I just, I'm like, oh my God. This is
I grabbed one like that. I had no idea what it was in for. It was called Yorotsuki Doji. I grabbed a couple of them. I got partway through one. I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
that was some really messed up stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, while we're talking about creators mentioning their or like wearing their influences on their sleeve, I know the creator of Attack on Titan openly talks about how much of a fan he is of like Western culture, like in the form of like Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad.
Oh, and
stuff.
that oozes through Attack on Titan.
Like,
I mean, when I talk about Japanese,
get behind. That's what
Another-
partially what Drew might.
Yeah.
Another Japanese creator, Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, you're good.
The guy won't shut the fuck up about Western media. Metal Gear Solid is basically just him ripping off his favorite American
Dude, that was
film.
Escape from New York.
Yeah, it was. It was
That's
awesome.
legitimately that's why his name is Snake. He loved
Plissken,
Escape from New York. Like
Snake Plissken.
Snake.
In fairness, I love Escape from New York too. And
oh yeah, dude.
I never watched Escape from LA. Was that worth it?
It's about no,
Sure,
it's not
Russell,
as good
it's
as New
fine.
York. New York had that. New York was one of those like it was the good kind of cheesy corny, but when they tried to do it in the second one, it was all right.
I think
the best cheesy corny would be Big Trouble in Little China.
That was
Oh,
what
man. Well, here's the thing. The thing that I love about Escape from New York, though, is that it exists in this very bizarre little period where you were getting these semi-futurist films. Like Walter Hill had done The Warriors. There was this really cool crime film in the 84. I know.
Pretty much anything RoboCop.
Right,
Yeah.
there's that.
Come with me if you want to live.
In 84, there's this really underrated crime film called Alphabet City that just it's shot by one of the guys who filmed Miami, who's a DP on Miami Vice, and it just oozes 80s. And someone actually came up with the greatest summary of Hill's Streets of Fire. It's a science fiction film where America becomes the dominant world empire, basically. It locks itself into the 50s, 60s. And it looks. I love the look of that.
Anybody remember Solar Babies?
Say what?
Solo what?
Solar Babies.
No.
It was about this roller skating street gang. I guess China pretty much ruled the world. The U.S. was using yen for money.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't think I've
Sounds
seen
like
it.
every cyberpunk story ever.
If there are any volunteers, we've got a couple more people that would like to jump on the panel.
I can take off if you want.
I can jump out too.
That's a
I'm
you
about
guys
to
thing.
say.
I got two people that want to jump on, so I just want to make a little bit of room for two people. So
I'll gladly exchange promo for my exit.
yeah, go for the promo, man. Hit it.
All right, so I'm sure you guys have the link, and you can guys drop if you want. So my book, Lost Kingdom, which is edited by literally the man upstairs, Daniel P. Riley.
Yeah.
It's literally in its final 48 hours. We're trying to get as much money as we can to get a little bit of a buffer versus kind of the falling stuff. But yeah, we're funded. We're trying to get more. We got a stretch goal at 2K. Hopefully we can get there. But and I'm doing a closeout stream on my channel at 6 with Dan. So yeah, it'll be pretty fucking awesome.
All right,
There you go.
I'll come next. I can do that. I've got a bridal shower I have to go to.
All right, take care, guys.
Take care.
Cheers.
Vince. It's good to see you, dude.
Peace.
Take
Fuck
care.
you, Royce. Go drink a White Claw.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Hey, yo, what?
I can go next so I can make a face for people.
There you go.
Just let me know.
All right. Nope, you're good to go. You're good to go. The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you so much. So I'm Mike Snow. You can find me at watchwithdam.com, and I have my latest book coming out, Caballero del Camino. It is in edit right now. And the next book, I think I've got you actually doing it also. Daniel has looked at it. He did my beta for me. Thank you, Daniel. You saved my life. And I feel better about it.
Happy to help.
Yes,
He
you
looks
did.
at
And she's famous.
I waited for it until Daniel did it for me first, so that way I could read it and then I send it to edit. And so that'll be coming out this fall. We're just a little bit behind because we had deaths in the family, and my husband had his wreck and everything the last year before that. We still managed to get it out, guys! Yay! And so it actually will be out, and we should have it all paid for. It'll hit the shelves. We don't even have a fundraiser because I have enough to cover it. Yay! So we'll just put it out there and see what happens.
Nice.
I don't know what to do with that. I'll have to talk to you, Daniel, if we do like a promo with it or like a fundraiser, but it's not really a fundraiser. I don't know what to do. So
We can put something together.
Yeah, I'll get. We'll talk. So, but I love you guys. You did a fantastic job tonight, Royce. I am so proud of you. Look at your little face with your little YouTubing face. Look at that. I really do. I mean, it's time I talk to you guys, every time I see all of y'all, Andy, all of you guys, look at your little faces. I love you. You have done a great job with the work you're doing. I'm serious, whether it's music or art or writing novels, comic books. You guys have worked so hard to do this. And the curation, I can't thank you enough, Royce, because you have driven this, and we have seen incredible results because of it. And I want to tell you thank you, and I love you. So keep it up, guys. Have a blessed night and enjoy your happy nights. And I will talk to you later.
You too. Love you too, Lady Snow. Cheers.
I love you.
Good night, Queen.
Good night. Maji-chan.
Hey, I missed the Power Ranger talk. That was the only reason why I wanted to come
The
on.
panel was full. I keep getting messages. People are like, "Hey, can I get on?" And I'm like, "Guys, the panel's full. Like, just give me a second. Like, we gotta rotate."
I got that. That's why
strange.
I said the super.
It's how it happens, and then yeah, that's just what it is. And
Did the man of culture want to take off and get some rest?
I think I'm like the only non-creative on the channel. So.
What do you have been a guest on Iron Age Nights because you were on the barbecue stream?
Yeah,
which was that was.
You're definitely a creative though, because
yeah.
What did you watch Power Rangers for? I know what you're doing with it.
Daniel's
I love how you're talking
going,
to her.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Got like the Brady Bunch going here.
Yeah.
So who's who with the Brady Bunch?
Well, no, I'm not even gonna. Not even. Nope.
Well, I'm apparently the logo because I'm dead center.
Oh God.
Well, that's like asking
No,
on that old Family Feud clip,
no,
which
no.
of the 7 dwarves resembles your wife, where you just know don't answer.
Good Lord, fuck. So
Brutal.
There are wrong answers, though.
there
Some
are
are better
wrong
than
answers.
others.
There are wrong answers. So one of
I
the
prefer
things,
Sleepy.
you know,
Based.
so one of the things that, like I said, we touched on it, it briefly for a second, but it's how a lot of that inspiration is coming back from the East into the West, and how it's going to start inspiring the younger generation to take that over. It's really gonna. I mean, it sucks that the baton pass had to happen, but I think what we, and that's why right now manga
Literally how it works.
is blowing up. Yeah, it's legitimately how it works.
Right.
It goes across the world. It grabs some flavor from somewhere else. It comes back. We take it back over. We're gonna kind of keep that recipe and add a little bit more to it. And I think we are on the precipice
That's when the
of
Renaissance
seeing.
happened.
Yeah, I think we're on the precipice of seeing some awesome Western projects yet again.
I honestly believe this from the bottom of my heart that this is a.
Hey, what's going on, Mike?
Yo, so
I honestly believe the bottom of my heart is that this right now is probably one of the best times to be a creative, because through the internet you have access to so many works from around the world, from different cultures. I love doing, I kind of call it like a digital globe trotting sort of thing, where you hop in and you just look at what's being done, stuff that never gets brought stateside. I did an entire show about this on Quality Candor, where I'm talking about certain music, because in the 2010s you had this big blow up of city pop. But through that, I was also, looking into what other foreign music hasn't been brought over to the States. Like you have sort of the Italian lounge scene that was coming out of a lot of the films from, in the 60s and 70s. You had, oh my God, there's a band called Torfrock that came out of Germany that I discovered them through a music video for this German half animated, half live action comedy called Werner Beinhardt, which is based off of this anarchic comic strip about this North German biker. And it's just fucking hysterical to watch, but it's never been localized. So I'm basically watching everything in German and I have no idea what's going on, but I'm just like,
North German biker just sounds badass.
No, it's so much.
Right.
It's so much fun. Stuff like that. And I also recently had gotten big into of all things, stuff from New Zealand, because there's a artist down there, Dave Dobbin, who I've discovered his music, had done groups like The Dudes, which is a pop rock band, DD Smash, which is this big sort of like pop band up down there, and then of course his solo work. And it's just, I'm listening to music that I'm like, I fucking love this. Why was this never brought over? Why did this not hop over?
We got Flight of the Conchords, that was some New Zealand representation.
A little bit.
I didn't know they did anything besides Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
that is
Flight of the Conchords season 1's a great show, man. It's funny.
To kind of go off what Jake's saying, though. Okay, so for those, well, actually, I haven't really said anything about what exactly the book is about, but I have several different characters, and I wanted to make sure they all had different fight styles. So, like for Royce's inspired character, he was inspired by the Power Rangers fight styles. And then for another one, I was studying Mongolian spear fishing for my little animals, and then even my healer, the Trippy Soul inspired character, is using South Korean short staff moves. Cool. So I had to go and research all these different fight styles to make each individual person unique enough that when you're reading their fight style, but none of them are from the same region. So it added to that adaptation, so I could go, oh, this martial art looked badass for this character.
Have this unique sort of.
What did you watch for my character? Cats fighting?
I watched a lot of Predator documentaries. Yes.
There you go.
I get kung fu.
Well, I will also say this too. The other thing that
you're a dark mage.
Awesome.
Really though.
I don't know if you're talking to me or Wrangler, but
yeah.
No, AC. AC
Oh,
is a dark
mage.
Nice.
I was gonna say I have an observation about the topic of learning from the East a little bit. A couple things I noticed. Just not. I mean, I am more than glad to continue talking about research and fighting styles. Good job, Maji, by the way, because you just feel a little smarter, like you're actually leveling up or something in real life.
Absolutely.
That's another thing about modern day, though. Research
too
is
elaborate
easier
because
than
I
ever.
can't do it. I can't do these fight styles, but I was watching a lot of beginner how to, what it looks like, step by step breakdowns.
And I'll be honest too. My other thing that I love about research, and I talked about this when I was on Iron Seas, is that there are 2 episodes, one upcoming and one previously released, of Alan Firedale, Desert Delinquent, where I learned Navajo. I learned to actually pronounce phonetically Navajo words for characters.
Yeah, I think I just watched that earlier today, the clip from that.
It's really something, and it's really something to be able to sit there and think, my God, this is literally an ancient language. And I can just look up, this is the word for medicine man, or this is the word for, this is the phrase for calm down. I remember literally thinking back to my recording for this new episode of Firedale coming out, where I literally remember I stopped myself midway through and I just told my audio man in the recording, don't use that take. That was not the correct pronunciation. I'm thinking, the fact I can actually go through and learn that exact rhythm and that exact sound, without,
how did you learn the pronunciation? Because it's one thing to learn the words, but to learn how to properly speak them is another ballgame.
Literally, you just, if I've been fortunate enough to find either, I believe it's the International Phonetic Alphabet, so the actual sounds that there's a voice generator that you can run that version of it, and then you'll have a sound file listen to. But also specifically for Navajo, there was a Navajo word of the day thing that literally had recordings of the exact words and phrases. And it's like with anything on Duolingo, where it's you hear it once, you hear it twice, and then you're thinking, okay, and you listen back to it over and over until you get it right. I think it was the phrase calm down, which becomes kind of pivotal in the show, was, I believe, hako'osho. I believe that's the enunciation. It's interesting too, because you're thinking about it, because I think back to Spanish that I'd learned in high school, and I think back to some of the Latin that I've learned for naming characters, and learn how to pronounce that, because Latin is kind of one of the big flavors in.
The V is always a W and stuff like that.
Exactly, just utterly nutty.
I'm the only Spanish guy around my area that didn't speak Spanish. So when I was in high school, I was like, I want to take Spanish class. When I had to take a language, they're like, okay. Right. And then they stuck me in Latin. I'm like, thanks.
Close.
One of the interesting things I find about Navajo is Navajo. It has a lot of similar phonemes to Tibetan. I live in an area I live in basically one of the old Tibetan areas.
It's a very percussive language. It's a very percussive language.
Yeah, it's percussive, and the phonemes, like how they shape their voice, is really similar. Like I know 2 or 3 words in Navajo and a couple Tibetan, but like how they voice the words is really similar.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Right. And also, AC, what did you want to talk about? Because I didn't want to derail too far from that.
Oh, real quick, just some observations I made about the East is right now, like they caught up with us so quick because they kind of imbued into their culture within their young people. I want to say high school age, even high school going into college age. These young people are like learning how to do it all themselves. So imagine you see all these Kickstarters within like Comicsgate and Iron Age and just the indie scene all together, books too, you name it. Imagine just being able to do all of it. Like you're doing the lettering, you're writing it, you're doing the art, you're basically doing everything just shy of like becoming an animation studio. But the other side of this coin is there's been a plenty of animation studios that have popped up over the years as this became their culture. So what I'm saying is these young people kind of invest in themselves at a young age. You see a lot more of them going into art and writing. They could, because it's like it goes hand in hand with comics and manga, and they kind of build a skill that they can do forever. And that's how you see like just to use Attack on Titan for example again. I think Death Note is the same way. But like a lot of these shows, Dragon Ball Z, right? A lot of these shows are just like one dude did everything except animate it. And then they just get an animation studio. So when you look at the West, what do we got? Not very many animation studios. Mm-hmm. That's number one. And everything is decentralized as far as like skills.
Well, in Hollywood, everything's done by committee. Almost everything is done by committee.
In Japan, they start out by themselves, but they do get a lot of assistance and whatnot.
They get their team. Yeah.
So
but
the My Hero Academia guy, he started as an assistant for One Piece guy for Oda.
To get to that point, get to the point where you get that team behind you, though.
Yeah.
You can't have just gone to college. Yeah. You literally have to have something out there that is proven that it's making the dollars.
A whole book done.
You gotta get the skills first, then you build the team after.
Japan is very much, from what I'm to understand, still a meritocratic.
It's like rock
system in the arts. I have no idea as far as business world goes, but yeah,
it's like rock bands over there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's still very much a meritocratic system, and if you we talk about all the anime and stuff like that, and it's like man, this is all really cool, and it's like, and then you look at the journey of the guy who did it, and you're just like, wow, he worked for 25 years of his life before
busting his ass. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just humping it the entire time, and obviously, and now in Japan, I think it's a lot more acceptable because of the popularity of it. But back when like Toriyama was doing it, like he was disappointing his parents.
As you think.
Well, yeah, he was disappointing his parents because they were like, well, you need to, go to school and be a doctor. And like, I mean, the traditional, like, kind of the trope that you see in Japanese anime. That's a real thing. Like, why aren't you being a doctor?
Absolutely.
Why are you doing this other thing? And they're like, no, Dad, I'm not gonna go be a doctor or an engineer. I'm gonna draw cartoons for a living. Like, it sounds the same
that
way.
Normally doesn't
here.
go over well.
Yeah.
That whole barrier
get a real job.
Yeah, right.
Here, Darky Dark wants to say goodbye, guys.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
I'm
I'm about to pass out. My whole body hurts.
Cheers, brother.
Have a good one, Hero.
What you do? What you do? Where can we find you, man?
Well, of course, if you listen to Roy long enough, you know what I do. In case for everyone who doesn't know, I'm Hero Darky Dark.
Roy's talked
I'm
about
on
it
Twitter, Hero Darky Dark. I'm writing the book, Relentlessly Good Hero. Song in action, good stuff. Yep, there it is.
Fun times.
And just a fun adventure. And that's about it. I can't think of anything else, so I'll just be taking my leave.
Get some rest, bro.
Get some rest.
Yeah, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Because I can't leave, I'll cause a little bit of chaos. Let's see, who can I Shit.
Oh no.
Yeah. Dice bag. Fuck you. All right. Bye.
What the fuck? He just straight up was like, I want to say some shit real quick.
He picks up
I'm
the
flattered,
old
but
looking thing in the panel.
You know that whole idea of all that work you have to put into manga to really get anywhere is probably a reason you see a rise of things like light novels going on over in Japan now, because there's a much lower barrier to entry in those things. I think a lot of the guys that write those things don't actually do the art; they just hire an artist. So that's a skill set you don't actually have to learn there. And those things are like all over the place.
And that isn't
what
too
I've been
far
doing.
from the, and that isn't too far from the older pulp model, in which you'd have someone doing like these very small, simple interior illustrations, or they do an illustration for like the header, like in the old issues of Weird Tales. And I mean, that's kind of part of the model that I've been using with this, in which, you know, you have sort of this presentational image that sets the tone for the story that follows. And I'm really glad we made the switch to doing them as like half sheet comics, where it's, you know, this very small comic that depicts part of a scene, because, you know, not only are you getting that, but you're also getting a taste of some of the action of the adventure that's about to happen. So I think that's one of the light novel definitely has a history and also has a Western counterpart too. So you can kind of see how this
like the Royal Road.
We call them novellas.
Like a lot of the light novels, like a lot of them got started people literally just writing stories on their phones and doing like their equivalent of Japanese Royal Road. And then people were like, this is awesome. And it just kind of got picked up and serialized from there.
Shorter stories are the future, I think, because you can really get a taste of an author. I mean, everybody's still going to have their opus. Don't get me wrong; they're going to have their chonker, but I think that's not going to be the standard. Like a lot of people go to chonker right away. You know what I mean?
No, I think the chonker is going to fall away.
You think so?
Well, Harlan Ellison.
I can see that.
The reason why I love learning from Harlan Ellison so much is that he had a really good point, which is the way authors used to write is you started in short stories, you started hitting magazines, then you moved up to novelettes, then you moved up to novellas, then you moved up to novels. You know, so you're you're cutting your teeth, learning how to write as tight as you possibly can, so that way every book that grows larger is tighter by virtue of you having cut your teeth on the short story at the base. And a lot of people just wanted the glory and the glamour of, you know, going right into a novel, having a nice mass market series. And in like the 70s, you know, after a lot of the magazines fell away, and like the you know, the pulp magazines, the bounty of them died away near the end of the 50s, and you wound up having a lot of the niche like genre magazines of the 60s and 70s. You had a lot of publishers that just said, okay, fuck it, mass market paperbacks for the win. And you have a lot of series that go straight into novels. Like I think a lot of the spy series that, you know, became big around the time of James Bond, like you had your, I think it was what, Mac Bolan came out around the 70s, the old Matt Helm stuff. And that was all straight up novels. You know, these weren't pulp short stories that weren't anything. These were full on fucking novels. And that kind of incentivized a lot of people to say, okay, I don't have to write short stories. I don't have to write novelettes or novellas. I can just go right to a novel. And you get a lot of these very bloated first books as a result. Because you don't know.
I think I went through those myself in one shot. And I think Maji kind of did the same thing. I sat down to write a short story. And as I was asking questions, it blew up. And I was like, okay, it might be a novella. By the time I was done, it was a full novel, which I was not intending to do.
Well,
they say the same thing in game design too. Small.
Right. Right. And the thing also,
my prologue was the original short story, and then I'm like, you know, I want to know what happens after, and I like the what after before the prologue. So yeah.
My bad habit is that whenever I'm trying to start a new character and I have a bunch of projects that are going to be like starting up over like the next year, is that my bad habit is that I always write the pilot story, as in like, you know, getting all the ideas out for like, this is the setup, this is how the hero is. And every time I read back over it, it's like, this is fucking shit. Let's just start with an actual adventure character. Fuck the backstory. Now I know what the backstory is. Let's have an actual story for it.
Yep. That's the point.
Yeah, I've tried that before, but I'm not that planner. I'd be like, okay, let's plan this. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to use any of that.
You're not
either way, you burn
use
the
it
trash
though.
out of your system. That's the important thing. You burn the trash out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a reference point.
Yep. It's like, okay, I got some ideas, and now I'm not going to use them, but at least I got them there.
Right.
Everly, your first songs were all 3 seconds long.
I was just kidding. I was just playing off the whole notion of starting small, you know.
Since they're short, sing one of them for us.
Oh no, it was a guitar. I didn't start
There's the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What was
constantly
the
write
2-note song
little
from
things
Animaniacs?
over and over and over again, and my daughter's the only one who actually reads them.
Who remembers Choose Your Own Adventure novels?
I do.
Me.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
never understood the concept very well.
Oh, they're fun. You get to a page and it's like, do you want to open the door or go in the shark tank? And then you go to like a different page. It's a
You
good
open
time.
the
Well,
door.
it's got so
what's-
wild, so damn fast.
What's
Where
Yeah,
there's
a lot
those-
of them were just like you died, and then you
Yeah.
just start over.
It's like-
I made the mistake of not writing down the previous page, and I tried to go back to where I was to make a different choice.
Well, I mean, it's,
I couldn't find it.
literally like computer text adventures. It's like,
yeah, man.
You
British
see
legends.
mask, but you cannot
Forgot
get
to
these
save his
masks.
game.
Well,
Yeah, dude.
are-
I kind of want to see
what
those
was
come
ours?
back.
Did you guys remember those ad lib books?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, like, leave the blank,
Mad
and you and your
Libs.
buddies
Yeah,
would
Mad
just
Libs,
come up with
yeah.
the dumbest shit you possibly could,
Yeah,
just so
everything
you
was like-
guys could read it at the end. And
Yeah.
oh, and they were hilarious. I'm sure if I found any that I did as a kid, I would be like, wow, this isn't even funny anymore.
I
And you
do
get that one
those
kid that just
every
spams
once
the
in a
I
same
while.
liked them as a kid, then stopped caring about them. Then as teenagers, so we went back to them because we want to put in every dirty word we could.
Oh, everyone.
Oh,
With your
for
whole
me, it
brand
was
new
Goosebumps.
vocabulary.
Like
was just-
as a kid, I was glued to those damn things, but then I went back to read them, and I'm like, "What the hell is this shit?"
That was like one of the good things about being homeschooled is we got to do those for school to learn grammar,
Oh boy.
learn adjectives, all that. And I do that in my school as a teacher. Every once in a while, I'll print out a Mad Lib, like when I'm teaching adjectives or nouns and all that. And I'm like, you guys are going to write a ridiculous story.
I would
I used to think the most useless
There once
skill they
was a
could
man
teach you at
named
school was how to
Paul.
diagram a sentence.
I hate that.
Oddly enough, I was very
Wait a
good at it. Now I can't remember jack about it.
Is
Yep, you just know
AC's
something works.
avatar freaking Ev?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Okay, I wasn't losing my mind.
Got a
That's
little bit of
hilarious.
guy love going on.
You got a fanboy on stream.
Wait,
But,
I
I
learned
mean,
how to
but
do
then
this
again-
the other day. Let me see if I can do
Then
it.
again, and what did they do? And one of the most
Yeah,
popular
that's
card
close.
games on the planet is Cards Against Humanity, and it's
There's this
basically
one.
what we just talked about.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just adult ad libs, is all it is.
I saw a new one called like
And
Conspiracy
it's
Theory. or
100%
something.
fun.
Oh, I fucking loved playing it at work over the summer.
Oh, dude.
Literally, some.
I wonder if there's a game design in the summer if you did like Mad Libs, but it's also Cards Against Humanity, and you somehow merge the two.
I think the
You-
closest thing would be
I-
apples to apples, which is the
Well,
clean
like-
version.
No.
With
If
a
you were going
story
to
to
do
tell,
it,
you know what I mean?
if you were going to do it, it would have to be you'd have to have panels like this, right? And you'd have to have like a DM. It's like, all right, guys, I've got a 20-page story that we need to finish.
Yeah, that could be
And
a lot of
every
fun though.
round is the best cards win the round, and it goes in. And you have to pick from like the topic. So it's like, okay, you've got to pick from this topic, and it's just people, and you've got to,
man,
and it
that'd
could
be
be like
great.
the cards. Well,
Yeah, and
so
then
you
at the end,
have
the
like
story
red
gets
cards,
flipped.
blue cards, green cards, white cards,
yes.
black cards, all that
Yes.
stuff. And then whatever,
thinking like a
whatever
Yu-Gi-Oh
color
player.
that line is, you have to fill in, and the funniest one wins. And then at the end, you can end up they can have like little tiny sleeves that kind of hold the cards to the thing, so you could like flip the pages. But you would have to have somebody who could like write out the thing, or like pre-scripted ones or whatever.
That'd be a lot of fun though.
That
Deal.
would be.
How do I win? How do I
Let
win
me
on turn
open a
three?
Google Doc and take some notes here.
Yeah,
Right.
please.
That's right.
Figure out
Dice Mag's just like, I know what we're doing.
I'm saying there once was a man
When
named
you get a
Balls.
million.
Yeah.
You work on it with Vincent. Who's the guy he was on before?
Yeah,
He's got
Vincent
the hat.
Baker.
Vincent Baker.
Yeah.
Vincent Baker, yeah.
What was his
Him and
company?
Vindicated.
Vindicated.
Yeah, there we go. I knew it was
like,
Vincent something. Yes,
I
yes.
was like,
Good
it's
pull.
Vincent. No,
Yeah.
it's not. That's his name. It's Vindicated.
Now, that kind of
Vindicated
stuff
Entertainment.
is like his jam. That's the
Yeah,
kind
he's-
of
that
things
dude,
he
that
makes
guy-
mostly.
Like it is. He makes everything too. Like if he can think about a game, he makes it. And I think he said start to finish, it takes him like 5 years from like concept to like release.
And I
Remember,
really,
completely believe
really, Right, and I really do hope, because I know Nikki Piccone at Iron Age Marketing was looking for guys in the tabletop RPG space, and there's a reason why I recommended him both you, Dicebag, and Vincent, because I'm thinking that could make for a fun conversation with you guys.
Yeah.
Now we go back and forth on Twitter.
Nikki's
for a
good
bit.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the man. I love him.
Was it on a comic shop
He is
Wednesdays
the
one?
one. If nothing else, he's also the one who harassed me long enough to actually buy my domains for both 365 and like my own name.com.
He, in my opinion, he has like one of the best podcasts in the indie scene, and it doesn't get enough attention.
I loved being on it, and I love
Very
listening to it for real.
Yeah, I've enjoed being on with him.
He's been over here, but I've never been over there.
Right?
You don't create anything.
That's true.
Yeah, good music too.
Right.
Oh yeah, got
Oh,
the
good
pretty
Lord.
You
good
create
music.
stacks of beer cans.
Hey, it's hard to create those stacks of beer
White
cans.
Claw
Okay?
cans.
No. Apparently, I guess there's still White Claw in the house somewhere. My wife and I haven't found it yet. Somewhere. I don't actually know if it's there.
Somewhere.
You never
Platform 9 3/4 is
That's
where it's at.
probably where it is.
Yeah,
It's just like, we left more in the house. I'm like, I didn't. Yeah, we may find it.
At least it doesn't mold or anything.
My house can turn into a black hole. Guys, I think we're nearing the end. And I think we're nearing the end because I'm getting tired. So let's start.
Wore him out.
Who would like to do the outro first? Everybody's like, fuck you, Royce.
Okay, I'll go.
All right, Wrangler, what do you do? Where can we find you, good sir?
You can find my books on Amazon, Haley Star Bad Kitty and Bad Kitty Haley's World. You could also find me Frequency Studios on Substack, where I'll be posting a few short stories in the fairly near future. And you can find me on YouTube. My channel is Wrangler, but you type that in, all you're going to find is Jeeps. So use @Wrangler212 and do a channel search. I'll pop right up. Also, Royce has merch. He never wears his own stuff, so someone's got to check out his merch store.
My wife had on the Drink with Crazy shirt today. I have
to buy new ones.
I have merch, but it's
I should have worn my 365 tee, but instead I'm repping a web show I've been watching, Screaming Soup. Fun horror type
Screaming Soup?
It's like Monster Vision, but hosted on Newgrounds. It's fucking hysterical.
Nice.
I just wore my Chronicles of Riddick,
Right. Maji Chan, I know you got stuff that you're working on. So what are you working on, and where can we find you?
Well, you can find me basically. Well, you can't really find me, but I'm always in the chat because I am the chat, part of the chat.
Damn it!
The thing that he ignores all the time. I'm in there.
Maji-chan is the chat.
He was dumb enough to give me a blue ring, so you'll see me in there. But also you check out Drink with Crazy's Discord. If you ever need to message me, you can message me from there. That thing he also forgets to advertise. His Discord is totally worth joining. You can actually hook up with a ton of different people there. Like I'm working with some art. I'm talking in some talks with some concept art for the book right now, and my coach Daniel's here in this chat. And out of all the many, many people that have been in and out tonight, 7 of them have characters in the upcoming story. Why? Because the story is inspired by the chat, that thing he ignores. So as a side note, though, you guys hear about Daniel's coaching and editing and all that all the time. I am one of the people that's gone through his coaching. I've gone through the more critical hardcore because I had no clue what I was doing, because it was supposed to be a 20,000 short word story and turned into a solid novel. But it was worth it. It's his coaching is solid. He knows what he's doing. And I highly recommend him to anybody. So if you guys even have questions about your story, just do one session and he'll at least point you in the right direction.
It's true.
Oh, awesome. M. Anthony Harris, you kind of got in at the very end. What do you do, man? Where can we find you?
I work here in China, but I also write a buttload of books, and I need to find a way to brand myself because I write whatever the crap I want to write. And yeah, my newest one is the part 2 in a kids detective series. So Sherlock Hamster 2 just came out, The Abduction Adventure, and it's a nice little story about a kidnapping and Sherlock trying to find the kidnapped kid. Well, not kid, but young man, and the shenanigans he has while he's doing that. And yeah, wrote a bunch of other books, bunch of other genres.
You can find.
And if I'm not mistaken, that lovely cover art is by Mr. Kevin John Jacob.
Yep, who also works with Jake and Daniel.
Oh man!
Well, everybody just knows a bunch of
Yeah,
people.
I actually found him through.
See, that's
Jake.
what
I was
happens
like,
when
hey,
you network. You know, that thing in your Discord that we all do that you don't know about? Yeah.
Yeah, and I found him, of course, through Paladin Dragoon, who's like the secret Dark Lord of the Iron Age, planning his siege on.
He's like
that dude has been working on his shit since before any of you guys, and he's still working on it. And I'm like, okay, this is either going to be awesome or it's not.
He's working on it. And it hurts.
It's going to be just okay. It's going to be one of these three, though.
Anyway,
it might be middle okay, slightly
was a
above
mid-tempered
good, but a
joke.
little bit down below great.
Yeah,
one of
it's
those
pretty all
four.
white.
Dice
As the
Bag,
person working
what
with
do you do?
Paladin
Where can we
Dragoon, it's
find
pretty
you,
good.
man?
Oh right, yeah. I have a tabletop role playing game I'm working on. This is Creatures, spelled with a Y. It's a portmanteau of Crystal Creatures, as said at the beginning of the stream. But yeah, this is basically Pokemon meets D&D, and I have a website I've actually built up recently, which kind of threw me for a loop because that was unexpected. But I couldn't keep going on the platform I was using, so that's creatures.com. Real easy to remember. But I also started up a Twitter and a YouTube for the game specifically. And on the YouTube, I actually just started posting a solo campaign where I'm basically playing the game by myself with the help of a bunch of random tables. And, there's going to be smaller videos coming up there about, just random topics plus art time lapses of stuff I'm working on. And of course, all that's got music from this guy over here on it.
Hello.
So there's that. And also, I do some live streaming occasionally. Yeah, I am a VTuber, but Saturday I stick to doing art streams around this time, and I actually have a Discord group where I have an open invitation to anyone there to just come on to the stream and shoot the shit with me while I'm drawing. So if any of you Iron Age guys would like to come on sometime, feel free to DM me on Twitter or something. I'll get you in the group and we can come on and chat.
You may be hearing from me then.
I played Creatures. It was actually a lot of fun.
Dice Bag, I think it's so cool that you are a VTuber considering the type of game that you're developing. It's very appropriate.
I guess
it's
so.
pretty great.
Well,
Yeah, it's
I
great.
thought the same thing when I talked with him. He's the only VTuber we've ever had in the channel. So
well, it's my own skills. I made the model myself. So that's, the doing the art for the game and all that. That's just, it is what I am.
I was about to ask, how do you make one of them avatars?
There's a program called Live2D that lets you rig the whole thing up. Like, mine's not super great. This is literally the first model I've ever made. So they can get really complicated with them and get some really nice ones if you're willing to shill out the money for them.
But I noticed that full effect, your voice box lights up whenever you speak.
Oh yeah,
I would
yeah.
just. If it was me, I wouldn't have even gotten that clever. I would have just had like a PNG overlay with like the mouth deleted and just like
turned into like a full-on PNG tuber.
That's what the beginners do. Actually,
I would just put like eyes and mouth over a potato.
I'm gonna get one that makes me look like Chuck Norris.
Now, speaking of things you can do, there's definitely even more fun things. Like one of the recent additions I got here.
It's a reading.
Oh, who are these people here? I don't know. What?
That's cool.
What kind of who are these people? Yeah, I haven't met them either. Yeah, you wouldn't know them. We haven't been on this stream before. This is Lorem and Ipsum. They're the Tome Boys. So we're gonna put them away because
I love it.
I'm not really prepared to talk to them right now.
I'm not prepared to talk to them right now.
I'm not prepared to split my personality 3 ways.
Yeah.
What personality? It's a whole lot different entities. Don't break the fourth wall on me.
Right? There's supposed to be magic, Jake. Speaking of Jake. Jake, what do you do? Where can we find you?
All right. Obviously, you can find me on Twitter at StageScreen60, and I have 9 trillion things I'm always juggling. I already have 2 examples.
I've never even heard that number before.
I already have 2 examples of my affected here, but the big thing we're working on right now is 365 Infantry, the ride for 2025 on Kickstarter. It is basically our way of funding the budget for 365 Infantry next year. If you love post-apocalypse cyberpunk fiction, you don't mind the heavy metal wolves, and you want something that is literally look at how thick this book is. Quick read, nice, quick pick-me-up, fun fiction, set in probably one of the most insane but expansive and unique worlds you'll ever read. I have been having a ball writing this series for the better part of 3 years now, and I'm hoping to keep that train running. Although this way, we're not stopping, but it'd just be nice to have the money there, so we're all good to go. You can buy subscriptions to the quarterly magazine. That's 4 issues every year, and as you testament to how much I've done. Yes, that is in fact the 100th. This book contains the 100th story I've ever written in this series.
Nice.
But we're also selling annual collections, so that's all the year's stories in omnibus volumes. That's the version we started with because we only just introduced the magazine this year. So if you don't want to break up your collections, you can back the 2024 annual, or if you have the patience of a saint, stake your claim on the 2025 for a ridiculously cut price. And we have stuff like that. We also have subscription packages. We have add-ons, including Mr. Evely Music's favoritist audio show in the whole wide world, Alan Firedale, Desert Delinquent. My salute
good, man.
to
really
some
cool.
of the shows. Some of the shows we were talking about earlier tonight, like Johnny Quest, and my own love of the work of Jerry Anderson, Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet, that kind of stuff. And it's just, this is my manic little passion project that I don't know how much money this thing's gonna make me, but at the end of the day, it's gonna do something because I got a few decades in me. Let's put it like that.
There you go, man.
Yeah, and just to other things on Amazon at the moment, just because I owe these guys a debt for getting me roped into some really cool stuff. Mr. J.D. Cohen's Star Wanderers, 8 fantastic science fantasy tales. I had the privilege of writing a 4-track EP to. You can find it on my Bandcamp, jacobkelta.bandcamp.com. And we're bringing back the fucking Western, kids. That is Go West Frontier Adventures. I have a story that doesn't involve wolves, so all of you who are embarrassed by that can enjoy my fine prose. But also, we have 16 other fantastic stories from a rogues gallery of incredible writers, and it's been a blessing to have worked on this. And fun fact, we might be gearing up for issue 2 soon, so anyone who wants to become a gunslinger, get your shit ready.
Awesome,
That's
man.
all I got this time. But yeah, that's 365 Infantry, Ride for 2025 on Kickstarter. Campaign ends September 4th, this fucking Wednesday. Help us to the finish line by any means necessary.
Jeez, awesome, dude. Well, with all that being said, AC Pritchard, what's going on, man? What do you do? Where can we find you?
What up, man? So this week, we've been releasing a bunch of live videos from my band, Empty My Lungs. You can find us on everything, Facebook, X, YouTube. I'm trying to grow the YouTube channel and the X because we still got our 3,000 on Facebook, so that's good for a bit. But in the hundreds on the other ones. So if we could get the Iron Age in there, I added the hashtag to the X bio and everything, and just we got the whole album uploaded there. Go check it out if you like metal, or
Is
even
that
just
a
rock.
new band?
No, it's I resurrected my old band because it was all off the internet, and yeah, I literally pulled some necromancy here and brought it all back.
There you go, dude.
Yeah, it was just all yanked off the internet with like without my consent and stuff. So now I'm like just like I have like a music video, multiple like professionally done lyric videos and stuff, and I just reconsolidated it all because I went and looked at the sad YouTube page and there was like nothing on it because what we did is we outsourced our videos. Like I have a video with 30,000 views on it right now, but that's on somebody else's channel. You know what I mean? So like just putting all this stuff in one place. I digress though. That's the band Empty My Lungs. You can find free content. That's all ages. acpritchard.substack.com for that. There's 3 episodes of Spirit Animals going on there, and my book on Amazon.com/author/acpritchard. That's Mortal Descent, which is the source material of my graphic novel campaign, ending on September 11th. So we're winding up towards the end here. Get your fan art or just any sort of like orc art or Viking orc Viking art. Submit it.
You guys and your fucking orcs.
Oh yeah. And if you like, if you're sick of what Amazon is feeding you with Rings of Power, I present to you an alternative, something family centered, something based, something with my own heart poured into it. Like there's every line is dripping with symbolism and just like everything like I'm inspired by. So get it.
Symbolism.
Symbology. I said to myself, this has fantastic symbolism.
Symbology.
Yeah,
Frankly,
yeah.
it's fantastic.
Guys are fucking wild.
Everyone
He doesn't
agrees.
say it, but everybody thinks he has the best symbology.
Comrade Kamala said that
Frankly,
this is
the
worst
best.
comic
You can
ever.
ask anyone.
But yeah, aside from the graphic novel campaign, that's fundmycomic.com/ASOS. This is my SOS to you guys. Help us out. Yeah, because Iron Age comic, man. Let's go. Like not just like it means a lot to me because like Anvil picked it up. The comic kind of brought itself into fruition, all the way from the bottom. So I'm ready for it,
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
There you go, man.
that's all.
No worries. Heavily Music. What do you do? Where can we find you?
Hi, I'm Evely Music. I make music under the name Evely. If you type that into wherever you listen to music, I have several albums up there for you to listen to. Chiptune albums. I got all kinds of albums up there.
Several albums.
Instrumental, chiptune route. You can wrangle too. You go mudding, throwing a little rock and roll. So I got stuff up on there. The
That just
newest
reminds me of
track.
the Blues Brothers. We got both kinds of music here, country and western.
That's right.
Don't mind me just going mudding to Swedish death metal. My
Yeah,
favorite.
you know me, boys. You know what we do. Yeah. So, me and Chill Kid just released like a dual single over there, so go check that out. It's cool. He did a song and then he gave it to me, and I chopped it all apart and then put it back together and did like my thing over top of it. So it was a fun little experiment. I think turned out pretty cool. Definitely go check that out and be like other
Called
stuff.
Save
Listen to
You,
it.
right?
Yeah, that's the one I did. So his is called Anti-Hero,
now?
and mine is called Save You. Yep, you can pull it up and listen to it. The art for it's pretty cool. We think it turned out neat. It looks like Sega Genesis cartridge cover art.
It is a really good fucking singles cover, dude. Really.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like the big robot, and I have like a Mega Man power blaster arm, and he's got a big machine gun, and he's got the shades, and I got the beret. It was fun.
And of course, contractual obligation. But if you want to hear what me, AC, Justin, and Mr. JVP Music got up to last year, we have First Strike EP over on anvilmagazine.com. Just because I still am hearing half of the fucking songs we wrote for that record.
And actually, with those songs, the ones that we did for it, the timeline or whatever, we have to wait before we can release them individually is about to end or did end. So
I think so, yeah. So you might be able to do all the fun maxi singles have the Dance Club remixes of Power.
Well, my track from that, I'm gonna release an album that's gonna be like music I've done for other people, and then a few like little things that never got put out anywhere, different types of music. So
A.C. Pritchard's Villainous Wake, Civilians and Cole remix.
Yeah.
What the
exactly.
And in addition to my music, you can also find me Tuesday nights riding high on the Iron Seas. So that's at 9:30 Eastern. It's me. It's AC Pritchard. It's the Ultimate Kahuna and that Sauce fella. We watch a movie. We have guests on, Wranglers on last week, a couple weeks ago, whatever it was. Counts has been on before. We watch a movie. We talk about it. We talk about storytelling. We fight with each other and just have a good time. And our chat is.
Yeah, they do.
I'm gonna have to fight with you about Top Gun.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can't.
Emily, at this point, I'm convinced you just say popular movies were bad in your eyes just to see what everyone says.
No, I didn't. It's not bad. It's just that 20 minutes of it is Jets and the rest isn't. I just want Jets.
You did piss me off by mispronouncing Peter Weir's name, but that's besides the point.
Oh, Petey Wire.
Yeah.
Petey Wire.
No, he just wish it was Ernest Gunn.
Oh, that was the best.
Ernest would be excellent. I would
Didn't
really
you spill over on your channel, Royce?
Ernest
like the
on
next day or
airborne.
so?
Gotta take down that mid. Come on, Vern.
Oh God. Daniel P. Riley, what do you do? Where can we find you?
I am Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org, literary coaching and services. I've helped most of the people who've stopped by and look forward to helping those who I
Brag
haven't.
about it, why don't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna brag about it. Finally.
Once.
He's like the Ellis Island of the Iron Age. Bring me your time.
Indeed.
Before
All must pass.
Your Iron Age?
I
You worked
just
with
called
Daniel
him the boot camp instructor, but Ellis Island's more appropriate.
I like it. I'm gonna
What
stick
is
with
that?
it.
Because you haven't worked in Hollywood unless you've worked. It's like, well, you're not. You haven't worked in the Iron Age unless you've worked with Daniel.
It's true. I have also started fulfillment on G Sedai #2. The comic.
Boy.
I got the
if you like
first
some
prints
underground
in.
cyberpunk, get 'em there.
Yeah, got the first prints in for the Fund My Comic campaign. There is a second chance campaign on Indiegogo currently. If you didn't get a chance to back it, that is where you can. And you can find the link to that on gcdibooks.com, as you see in my name header there. I also have an announcement to make.
Oh,
yeah. On Tuesday, since Monday is a holiday, the newest book in my library of literary works will be hopefully available for pre-order. If not, it'll be available by Friday. That is a new series that I'll be doing once a year for the next couple of years called Modern Horrors, starting with a wonderful vampiric story known as Heir of the Dragon.
It's cool.
Nice. I didn't even know you were doing that.
I've got a couple of new things. I was mentioning on Twitter, actually, I'm working on a short story anthology series that's kind of a D&D-ish fantasy extension of the Tales of Halcyon called Gentle Wild.
There you go. I didn't even know. I'm out of the loop.
Always be grinding, folks.
You people are.
Amen. Hey, fucking men.
You guys are
cool, fun,
interesting. I'm a workaholic drunk on coffee.
Amazing is the word.
I'm a workaholic who's just drunk.
I don't like working. I just like writing.
That's work. That's.
Don't feel bad, Royce. I like your funny words, Magic Man.
Oh shit!
How's that White Claw taste?
Like somebody
that new,
or was it Bud Light?
It's Bush Light. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I am aware that the microphones are on.
It's Bud Claw.
It's Bud Claw.
And remember, folks, the cream rise to the top.
Jesus.
That's the worst.
I didn't realize that was going to be a thing, and then it was a thing.
Oh yeah.
It also slowly turned into like Wolfman Jack there, but I guess that's
You know, a fun thing is to do Chinese Trump. What
the fuck?
Our social credit score has increased by 50 points, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
I guess
after
it beats
Comic
my
Shop
poor
Wednesday,
Chinese
it needs to
accent
be.
that I did the other night. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in to Iron Age Nights. I will probably do a Monday coffee this Monday because I have the day off and I'm going to be smoking stuff on Sunday. So as always, until next time, cheers, everybody.
And God bless.
Night, everybody.
You heard him. He's smoking.
Smoking.
Oh, fuck.